These two men, Royce and Cantor, are messing things up.
But they're women. There's nothing wrong.
Then why the hell are we having this meeting? Oh, shit, they built the defense.
Ladies and gentlemen, they have officially abandoned basketball. That's a 17-foot woman, technically. Y'all need one more. Oh, God. Bro, they built a 3-story defense. Stack another one. Make it interesting. Penthouse! Whoa! Somebody inspect that building. Knee pads, elbow pads, helmets. Y'all playing basketball or surviving a tornado? All that safety equipment is still no defense. Better add seatbelts.
No, lay down.
Oh, keep the helmet on. Return to sender. Smack. I can do this all night. Nothing gets through. Good thing y'all came prepared.
Is my... Okay, emergency meeting. What exactly is a woman?
Anyone who identifies as one. So the wig counts? You can't question the wig.
Then what proof do we require? Medical records?
Absolutely not. A scanner? They walk through and it beeps?
What does we decide? Do not write wig test. What does it scan? Do not write wig test. Great, we still have no idea.
This is my house now.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing great tonight. Got a great show planned for you. Got a bunch of stuff. We got the whole illegal alien crime wrap up. 25 of the latest, greatest criminals out there, illegal alien crimes. We also have Bella, who's what she's doing, taking a walk all of a sudden. We got a bunch of people here tonight. Let's see who's here. First one here was Chattel. What's up, Chattel? Good to see you. Then Miss Hacker, how you doing? Sherry Gatlin's here. None of your business. Hello, how you doing? Neuro's here. What's up, Neuro? The Narrow Way. Delay is obvious. Lady Bama. Good to see you. Kofi holding it down over on Kick. Yeah, what else here? Gundam's here. What's up, Gundam? Yeah, I saw this Luigi Mangione's trial revealed as the court okays it. Yes, got that story. Clay Travis making the team. Yes, that's right. What's up, Derek? Good to see you. Marine Veteran Release got this story too. Thank you so much. We're having an issue streaming to Facebook. What? Says they removed my video. Why would they remove my video? Oh my goodness. Oh man, what a joke. What a joke. Facebook. What a joke. They removed my video. Oh, whatever. There you go. I'll just delete it. Whatever. What a joke. Well, that's crazy. What's up? Anyone else? G Sharkman, good to see you. My power and internet were out all night. We had a quarter-size hail. I'm back, but still wonky. Oh, okay. Good to see you. So let's get into some news. I don't know. Facebook would obviously this video was inappropriate for Facebook. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what I mean? That's just crazy. Let's see. Bella's laying over here. There she is. There she is. Wow, I just heard some thunder. That's crazy. Crazy thunder. All right. We'll get started. So, yeah, what did they remove? They removed this video. I was streaming this live to Facebook, and I got a notification that it was removed from Facebook and said I got a strike on Facebook for that. It's probably racism. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, well. You know, what you going to do? It's all white alien crime. Yes, it is. What's up, Jay Schwartz? Good to see you. Good evening. So we'll get right into the news of the day. Human events. John Cleese to press UK comedy tour despite threats from Islam. Oh, that's a good story. That's one we'll take a look at. We'll see what's up with that. So here, we're going to get right into it. That's right. We're going to get right into it. Get right into it. Illegal alien crime roundup. It's been 2 weeks since the last one. So we got a migrant in Chicago. We got a Jefferson County, Kentucky. Oh, wait. I forget how many times I was stuck in Facebook jail. You just caught it. Awesome. So, there's a goal like there is every night. You guys know the first for each $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, YouTube, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, becoming a member or gifting memberships on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Twitch, and Locals, along with Locals coins, Cash App, PayPal, Coffee, Ko-Fi, and Super Tips. We add it all up, but we hit 100. We had an extra hour for each additional 100 that comes in. We had another hour to the show, so the show could be as long as you want it to be. It could be 2 hours, 3 hours, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 24, whatever. And as an added bonus, when we hit 50, we activate Bellavision. Unless somebody is so generous that they donate $25 or greater as an individual, then we automatically activate Bellavision for the evening. So just keep that in mind. And we're going to get into the news. You boys find the volume much more entertaining than us girls. Find the video. Oh, okay. What's this? Mega Dinghy. Oh, we have to check out the Mega Dinghy. What's the Mega Dinghy? So that's good. Kentucky, Carter County, Kentucky. We got Broward County, Florida. We got a whole bunch of them here. See them all. Look at this. We got these guys. They're all here. They're all ready. And they're all waiting. Waiting for you to tell them what's what. How much to get you to toss the doggy treat to Bella once in a while? Well, I don't have any treats in here with me. Maybe I should, but I don't like to give her too many treats. She's needs to she's watching her weight. She's watching her weight, but if I did like a give Bella a treat donation, she'd probably weigh 300 pounds or something. So Chicago, Illinois, a migrant TDA member accused of killing a non-gang member. We actually talked about this one the other day. A migrant AOL from a felony case murdered an 18-year-old at a party in June because he didn't recognize the victim as a Tren de Aragua member. A woman at the party was spared death because killing her would have drawn attention from ICE. We saw this. We read this story. I'm not going to. If you read the story, you'll see an assistant state's attorney cited through the report that he represented the state's case during a detention hearing, which is mentioned in the story. Basically this thing. So it's terrible. Jefferson County, Kentucky, man on a container arrested for rape and sodomy.
A Louisville landlord faces human trafficking charges tonight, accused of raping a 15-year-old girl. Court records say
a landlord. This guy is a landlord. Somehow an illegal alien is a landlord. Use carrots for treats. It's what I do for my dog. Oh, I guess I could do that. That probably would make sense. Give her some give her some treats, but make it something interesting. Yeah. What's
A Louisville landlord faces human trafficking charges tonight, accused of raping a 15-year-old girl. Court records say 48-year-old Rolando Vasquez rented a room to the girl's mother. Police say the abuse started back in December. A judge entered a not guilty plea for him today and told Vasquez to stay away from the family and all children. A Louisville
So the video is low, huh? Okay, I'll try to fix it. My bad. So, yeah. Last week, Rolando Vasquez was arrested for rape, sodomy, and sexual abuse, human trafficking, a victim under 18, promoting human trafficking. He has an immigration detainer hold. It's reported Vasquez rented a room to a mother and daughter. He's accused of raping the daughter multiple times a week and would threaten her and her family if she attempted to refuse. Wow. Another white man, it seems. Now, they said landlord. Does that mean he owns something? Perverted illegal, love the violent, perverted illegal aliens that rape and abuse innocent American children. That's crazy. Exterminate. Yes, exterminate. Miami-Dade County, Florida, man and detainer arrested for attempted murder. Ian Balvin Reed Hansack was arrested for attempted murder. He has an immigration detainer hold. It was very interesting. Yes. Your dog used to love broccoli stems. The video volume is low. Okay. I would have carrots laying all over the place if I did that with Mickey. He has no teeth. Oh, man. So our court records state he was admitted to chasing down and stabbing a man after an argument about a scooter. Well, at least this one is listed not as a white man, so that's good, right? 200-pound Ian Reed. Traffic stop was conducted, Miami, Florida. He was arrested, transported to Turner Guilford Night Correction Center. The victim fell to the ground. Once fell, he stabbed him with a knife. Wow. Another violent, grifting, illegal criminal. Deport them all. Prince George's County, Maryland, illegal alien accused of homicide. Guatemalan illegal, previously released by Maryland County, arrested for homicide. So previously released. Hey, Robert Gavea has raided the stream. Thank you so much, Mr. Gavea. Wow, Rob raid incoming. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, at least he had a good reason. Yeah, there you go. Renting a room in an apartment equals landlord. Go figure. I guess that's a Izzy B. Thank you all for being here. Thanks to everybody who came over from Robert Gavea. Is greatly appreciated. We love to have everybody here. Thank you for the raid. Yes, welcome Raiders. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, please, to the Raiders and to everybody else, please remember to hit that like button when you come on over to let us know. It lets YouTube know that people like it and they'll pass it out to other people. And if you subscribe to the channel, it makes me not cry at night. No, it makes everybody, it actually helps to grow the channel. We're really just trying to get to 10,000 subs. As soon as we get to 10,000 subs, we're going to do a 24-hour stream. And what we do for 24 hours, we don't know, but maybe something interesting. I'll tell jokes or something. So Prince George's Police Department arrested No Castile Mendez for homicide, negligent manslaughter with a weapon, and aggravated assault with a weapon. So ICE tells Border Hawk that they lodged an immigration detainer against him. He was arrested for drug possession and assault in 2025. He was released from jail back into the Virginia neighborhoods by Prince George's County. Castillo Mendez was previously deported in 2017, but he re-entered at an unknown date and location. So that would make him a felon. To re-enter after being deported is an automatic felony. It's supposed to be an automatic like 5 or 10 years. I can't remember. You can't hear me? You can't hear me? Are you serious? What is... Seriously? You can't hear me? Why is it doing that again? All right. I'm gonna have to keep monitoring. It keeps turning down my volume. Oh, I can hear you. Okay. I hear you, Lima Charlie. Okay. Audio is fine. Well, thank you. All right. So this guy here. So here's more on it. We'll have to see if this is So Prince George's homicide unit assumed the investigation to a recent fatal shooting in the town of Riverdale Park. So 44-year-old Noel Castillo Mendez, of Riverdale Park. Well, he's not really of Riverdale Park if he's been deported already and then just came back, right? I mean, that's not. So at approximately 10:50 p.m., officers were notified of a shooting in an apartment of the 5400 block of the Kenilworth Terrace. Suspect was taken into custody a short time after the fatal shooting. He's charged with second-degree murder and related charges. So if anyone has information, they want to speak to you. That's it. That's what they got on this guy. The victim was 44-year-old Dolores Lavia Hernandez. So I don't know. I can't. I don't have any other information to see if he was what he was classified as. Let's see. Maybe here. Nope, that's it. So Cherokee County, Georgia, man and detainer accused in a 2-year-old's murder, killing a 2-year-old. Wow. So Celso Edison Vicente E. Vicente was arrested for malice murder and cruelty to children in connection with the death of his girlfriend's 2-year-old child. He has immigration detainer hold. Clearly another no bond murder. Wow. At 11:29 a.m., officers with the Canton Police Department responded to a residence. Wow. The death of a 2-year-old. So upon arrival, personnel immediately rendered aid. The child was transported to a local hospital. Hey, Queen of Biltong, what's up? Thanks for coming by. What's up, Charvan? Good to see you. Vatos locos forever, essay. Yes, if you guys are hungry and if you like good food, check out the King of Biltong over at www.biltongusa.com. They've got all the meats, grass-fed beef, raised in Texas. From calf to full-grown to processed and shipped right to your door. Fresh, no additives, no preservatives, everything you could ever want in a little bit of beef. If you like it spicy, check out the Peri Peri. It's a little bit of tang to that. If you want a lot of spicy, check out the Ghost Pepper or the Carolina Reaper. That'll really get you going. All right. They also have other cakes, snacks, candies, and cookies from around the world that they ship right to your door. They also have some drawers and some Cabanassi sausages. It's Angus and Wagyu just for you. And if you use promo code JIM, they'll get you 10% off. So head on over to www.biltongusa.com and check out their meats. Nobody beats Anton's meat, except for his wife when he asks. So the Canton Police Detective Unit responded with responsibility, interviewed Kelso Edison Vicente of Canton. Oh, interesting. Meat. Yes, meat is good. Who is the live-in boyfriend of the child's mother. Detectives also obtained search warrants. At 7 p.m., he was arrested by the Canton Police Department, charged with malice murder. Wow. Let me try something else. Oh, you don't like the meat? Oh, you got out and back in a few times, still buffering. YouTube has been doing that to me for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. YouTube hates me. They hate me and they're trying to destroy me. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do. Family friendly, Jim. What was not family friendly? Hello, how you doing, Anton? Oh, hello. Thank you. Okay. Hello. Thank you. And look at this. Desiree Truth was gifted. Desire Truth was gifted a membership by the King of Biltong. Thank you. Thank you so much. What that means, folks, we are now 95 away from adding a first additional hour and just 45 away from Bellavision. That's what I like to see. Yeah. Thank you so much. Right there. See, and they got that raid from Robert Gruber. That's Robert Gavea. For whatever reason, they don't let you change the names on Rumble. They keep saying. And then King of Biltong with the gifted membership. Thank you so much. So they also obtained search warrants. So malice murder and autopsy will be conducted by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. So the Canton, when I hear Canton police, it just reminds me of the whole, Karen Reed thing, because that was Canton PD. What's it say? Dee Dee Hawes says, you want to be famous? I'll bring my commie friends into chat. Hell, even KB doesn't have the balls to ban you. Why would you want someone to put a rubber band around your balls? I hear that hurts. They could fall off. Don't do that, Dee Dee Hawes. That's not good. That's not good. Don't do that. Ugh. Not good. Not good. Don't do that. That'll never put a band on your balls. Never, never, never. So the death of a child is heartbreaking. Our thoughts are with everyone affected by this tragic loss. Our detectives have worked diligently to conduct a thorough and professional investigation. Yeah, you can't get past Boston whenever you hear Canton. That's crazy, right? So this remains an active criminal investigation. Anyone information is told to reach out. So yeah, so another illegal alien over here killing, babies, kids. Should we not execute if found guilty before send them home? Otherwise, it's kind of creepy vacation for these invaders. Yeah. So Carter County, Kentucky, man and detainer arrested for attempted murder. So you see like a pattern here. You got rapes, murders. What's it say? Rustic Ranch Rebellion. What a nice name. We shall play tomorrow. Oh, hey. I missed something here? Oh, yeah. Check out the King of Biltong's DIY and all the things at Rustic Ranch. There you go. Check it out. Got a lot of good stuff. He was arrested. So Adio Crescencio Sanchez was arrested for attempted murder after a stabbing as an immigration detainer hold. Yeah, he just looks like another misunderstood person, just here. And he's a male. Let's see here. Race Hispanic. Oh, look at that. They got it right. They got race Hispanic. They didn't put white. But this is the jail tracker. So I wonder what they put on the police report. Because, they're always up to something with those. They're always playing some kind of game. Always playing some kind of game. Hola. Yes. Attempted murder after a stabbing. Wow. In a Broward County, Florida, man and detainer accused of machete murder. So he killed a machete or he killed with a machete. Nicaraguan national Eddie Rivas Rizzo was arrested for murder and is accused of a fatal machete attack on his roommate. Wow, look at that. He's got, you got to keep your eye on this guy. And he's we always got these white males doing these premeditated machete murders. It says he's a white male, 5'9", 140 pounds. Arresting Hollandale, which Hollandale is not a bad kind of a. So we got another white machete murder going on here. After they were separated, the victim began to walk, at which time he stated, "That guy just killed me," while mentioning towards the defendant. So it's a proud member of the Broward County, Florida has hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens in it. Well, that's what happens. Will County, Illinois, illegal alien caught with Molotov cocktails. You don't say. Wow, this is Mokina, Illinois. This is like a good area. Something keeps making your audio go up and down. That's not good. That is not good. I guess. Let me see what's going on here. Let me see something here. Let me try. Let me try this, see if this works. I don't know. Does this work? Is it helping my audio? It's Rumble. It's not me. Okay. Sounds fine here. All right. So the bomber in Mokina, Illinois is a legal alien who was deemed inadmissible 2 years ago, but due to the failures of our government, he was allowed to stay. Audio's fine. It's no ups and downs. Okay. You don't think it's my audio? Well, thanks for doxing, Mom. I always try to please. I'm doing the best I can to keep, I want to put on a good professional show for everybody and hope for the best. So we'll stay away from the buttons, Jim. I know I'm doing stuff. It's changing things. I hope it didn't cause a problem. So he just got caught with 8 bombs in his backpack, was allowed to go home on pretrial release to Oak Forest. Beware of this man. His name is Hamed. He has a map of the metro station. So federal investigation launched into man charged in Will County with possessing Molotov cocktails. Oh, look at this. His name is Ahmed. Ahmed caught with Molotovs. Interesting. ICE Indiana has him. Okay, good. ICE has him. That's good. Finally. So, Wake County, North Carolina. A legal alien accused of 14-month-old murder. 14 months old murder. So this guy was like, hey, that guy killed a 2-year-old. He said he's going to do it. Press all the buttons. Do it now. Yeah, another white guy. I'm kidding. So Angel, well, that's not the right name for a guy who'd kill a 14-month-old. Israel Dares Rivas has been charged with the murder. Is accused of leaving his 14-month-old stepchild in the bathtub, resulting in the child's drowning. Daris Rivas has an immigration detainer hold. In May, he was cited in Wake County with driving without a license. So see if they would finally start doing something about these people for driving without a license, DUIs and stuff, start enforcing those laws. These other things wouldn't happen. It's called broken windows for a reason. You fix the broken windows and everything else comes into line. Then get to the chopper.
Garner man accused of leaving his 14-month-old stepchild alone in a bathtub, leading to that child's drowning, appeared in court today.
A judge denied bond, ordered him to be held on both the murder charge and a federal immigration detainer. WRL's Ashley Rowe in studio now to break down what we know, Ashley.
Guys, it was the first court appearance for 19-year-old Angel Dares Rivas, charged in the drowning death of his 14-month-old stepchild. Prosecutors asked the judge to deny bond, citing the circumstances of the case and a federal immigration detainer. The judge granted that request. Also during today's hearing, the court appointed the Capitol Defender's Office to represent him. According to arrest warrants, investigators say Dares Rivas willingly left the toddler unattended in a bathtub filled with water while the child was under his sole supervision. The 14-month-old later died from drowning. Investigators identified him as the child's stepfather and the husband of the child's mother. Dares Rivas faces charges of first-degree murder and felony negligent child abuse, inflicting serious bodily injury. If convicted of murder, he could face life in prison without parole or the death penalty.
The death penalty is most appropriate. Most appropriate in a situation like that. That's my opinion, but everybody is entitled to an opinion, everybody is, even me. So, if you put a large switch in some cave somewhere with a sign saying end of the world switch, please don't touch, the paint wouldn't even have time to dry. Just Ronis is off topic. Sorry, I got into the BAM Reckless Ben saga way later than everyone else. I live only a very few miles away from the American Fork. There will be a city council meeting tonight at 7 p.m. I can't wait. Oh, that's awesome. Keep me informed. Let me know. Let me know how it goes. Let me know. I like to be informed. What's in the vape? Oh, this is just. It's called. It's just spearmint. It's just nicotine. It's just nicotine. I don't have any. It's not that I don't do. I have a CBD vape, but I don't have it in here with me right now. So, yeah, confirmed illegal alien. Here he is. So they lodged a detainer. He's a criminal illegal alien from El Salvador. He now faces murder and other charges. So, Miami-Dade illegal alien arrested for hit and run. Miami-Dade County, Florida, yesterday, illegal alien Tomas Raimundo Brito was arrested for leaving the scene and driving without a license after a car crash left a 74-year-old Geraldine Bird, who remains in critical condition. Court documents state that Brito, a Guatemalan national, admitted to drinking before the crash. Tubs are slippery, and some folks put kids in those seats in the tub. Yeah, definitely. The BAM thing is crazy. Clearly another white man. Yep, white male. See, I was right. Another white male committing the crimes. Brito Thomas Raimundo, white male. Homeland Security released the following statement after ICE asked Miami-Dade not to release this criminal illegal alien. According to the reporting, the incident occurred on August 2nd. 74-year-old Geraldine Bird had stopped her vehicle to get out and open the gate to her driveway when another vehicle struck her car from behind, causing it to spin and hit her. The truck that hit Bird then continued forward and hit her again, trapping her underneath. Wow. The driver then got out and fled the scene. Shortly after the crash, the police arrested him. He's a criminal illegal alien from Guatemala. He admitted to drinking alcohol, which means it's a DUI, and leaving the scene. But the white privilege, he got away with it with his white privilege. That's why he gets to stay. Nassau County, New York, 3 illegal aliens arrested for murder. Wow. So 3 of them arrested for murder. Just Rhonda hates me. Can we mend bridges? We can mend fences. We can cross bridges. We don't burn any bridges. We mend fences. So 3 illegal aliens have been arrested for murder and a gang-related stabbing death of Michael David Grajero Suazo, Dennis Alexander Gonzalez Sordo, Isaac Lopez Alvarez, and a 17-year-old had all been charged. Sordo has a sordid criminal history. They have a criminal record of robbery in Nassau. I wonder if that's Nassau, Bahamas or Nassau County. Oh, they got the movie stars here for the newscasters.
It happened back in June. Investigators are now saying it was a gang-related attack. News 12's Jeremy Skiba brings us the very latest details.
It was really sad to hear, and I was surprised that it was a young teen.
Police say they've now arrested 21-year-old Dennis Gonzalez Sorto, 20-year-old Isaac Lopez Alvarez, and a 17-year-old. The 3 are charged with murder in connection to the death of 18-year-old Michael Grajero Suazo.
This is gang violence on the streets of Hempstead. Our victim, who was accompanied by 2 13-year-olds while he was murdered on the street.
As News 12 reported, police say it happened outside an apartment building on Fulton Avenue in Hempstead on June 28th. Investigators say the 3 suspects were masked and approached Grajero Suazo from behind, where they stabbed, kicked, and beat him. He was later taken to the hospital, where he died. Police say they do not have a motive for the crime. All 3 were arraigned Sunday morning. They all pled not guilty.
It's just sad and surprising to see that kind of violence is still going on around here.
The 17-year-old will appear back in court on the 3rd. Alvarez will be back in court on the 7th and Sorto on the 10th.
Mostly peaceful gang violence. Yeah, mostly peaceful. Just white on white crime, clearly. This is white on white crime, clearly. 100 million deportations is the minimum number. Yeah. 2 men and a teen arrested in the murder of an 18-year-old. It's more white on white crime happening. Salt Lake County, Utah. Illegal alien arrested for rape of a woman. A Haitian illegal is charged with raping and sodomizing women in Utah. Moises Saint-Laurent was paroled into the U.S. and given work authorization by the Biden regime in 2023. What do you know? A man, sounds Haitian, but since the media and sheriff department hide all the criminal data, we'll never know. They didn't say Utah man. Yeah. Let's see. Haitian suspect who was unleashed into the U.S. by the Biden regime. Nassau is going to shit. Yeah. Yep. But New York doesn't help with the ICE detainers. No, they don't. Yep. Another white guy. Yep. Another white guy. 2 trolls, not men. All right. Homeland Security provided Border Hawk with the history on Moises Saint-Laurent. On July 18th, a 20-year-old woman contacted authorities to say she had been raped by Santaran at his residence after a night out at local bars. Hey, what's up? How you doing, sweet daydreams? Bella Vision, where are you? Well, we're waiting on. We're still $20. We're still actually $45 short. It's on there on the bottom there. American Dreamer, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. She claims she repeatedly told him to stop, but he forced himself upon her. So during questioning, Santaran initially denied having sexual intercourse with the victim, but later admitted that he had, while claiming it had been consensual. For reasons that remain unclear, Santaran remained on the loose until he was accused of raping another woman on August 1st. So he raped one person and then didn't get arrested. So he figured, like, hey, I can just do what you want. So the victim told police she'd fallen asleep on Santaran's bed, but woke up to him raping her. He told officers the intercourse had been mutual, and he and the woman had been kissing all night. On Sunday, Santaran was Santaran. Isn't that like a seasoning or something? Like, or is that Santarans with a Z? Yeah, that's like a rice thing. Oh wow, look at this. $25 from American Dreamer. Thank you. Thank you so much. That means we have Bella added. There's Bella right there. Just chillinating. And thank you so much. And with that, that means, folks, we're now just $70 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. This show operates on your generosity. It goes, yay, Jim got his computer to work. Well, I did fix it. I did put a video. I had to finish. Hopefully it works even better because I was able to get the new hub installed today. I was able to figure out how to get the new control hub installed. So hopefully everything is going to be all right, as they say. And thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Bella. Thanks for Bella. Yay. Dee Dee is a woman. Okay. Oh, Dee Dee Hot is a woman? Is it? Oh, okay. I don't know. I just see chat members. I can't tell what anybody is. He was first paroled to the U.S. and given work authorization in 2023 under the Biden administration's Haitian humanitarian parole program. The Trump administration terminated the Haitian parole program in April 24th of 2025, but Santaran chose to remain in the country illegally. Yes, dog camera. That's right. The legal alien has been charged with sexually assaulting 2 women. He was paroled in our country by the Biden administration. We're asking Salt Lake County to not release this criminal alien to harass the public. So hopefully they listen. We don't need to know. We don't need more. So, let's see. Maine, Salt Lake City. Oh, that's right. Salt Lake is one of the places where they won't put pictures or race or anything about the people anymore. Yeah. They work so hard to bring them to Utah, and John Curtis wants to bring more people like him in. That's right. More. Yeah, they want to. So, Denton County, Texas, man, a detainer arrested for a stabbing. So last week, Yankani Alvarez Ruiz was arrested for aggravated assault with deadly weapon and is accused of stabbing a man at an equestrian center. He has an immigration detainer hold. So yeah, this guy is an equestrian. He loves the horses. Jim, stop with the yellow highlights in chat begging for likes. Kind of cringe, bro. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Yellow highlights. Why do we import the best and the brightest? It seems like it. Seems like we're not. Hey, Mona Lisa Divine, what's up? Good to see you. I don't know what you're talking about. Yellow highlights in chat. I don't see anything like that. Oh, he means the pinned comment. Oh, well, too bad. Let's see here. Up, another white male. Oh, he is. He's another. This white man right here. Clearly, it's just a white man out there stabbing people at equestrian centers. And another white male. Yeah, that's the way it works. Davidson County, Tennessee, illegal alien arrested for hit and run. You got they have a pattern. You know, you can see that there's like a pattern. It's like murder. It's like rape. child abuse stuff or driving crimes. An illegal alien's been arrested and charged in conjunction with a hit and run accident that happened over a month ago in Nashville. Huh, look at that hairdo. Look like Doc Ock. Yes, the whites are out of control, Joe. They are. The whites are out of control. I got to get these cracker-ass crackers under control. Tennessee illegal alien driver injures 4 pedestrians, including 2 in wheelchairs. Clearly another white man out here running people down with his car. Felipe Alvarado Hernandez, hit and run, illegal alien. Illegal alien's been arrested and charged in conjunction with a hit and run accident that happened a month ago in Nashville. Wow. Needs more bleach. Yes. Yes. In our eyes. Reports indicate that 4 individuals, including 2 were in wheelchairs, were waiting to come across the street when he cut a left turn short in his GMC Sierra truck, driving on the sidewalk and hitting the pedestrians. Wow. Investigators use a private license plate reader technology, so they use flock cameras to catch the guy. And the occasional neon green highlights. Yes. Alvarado Hernandez is charged with 21 crimes, including reckless endangerment, driving on a revoked license, leaving the scene of an accident, failure to render aid, failure to provide financial responsibility. Well, prove doesn't have insurance either. What do you know? Records show he's currently being held on immigration detainer. He will remain in custody until turned over to ICE. Got a $140,000 bond. Race unknown. Oh, this guy, they don't know his race. They don't know his race. That's what they're saying. It's just unknown. No, who could know? How could you know what race he is? How could you know? There's no way to know. There's no way to know. How could you know? In Osceola County, Florida, a man on detainer arrested for shooting a minor. That's crazy. Why would you shoot a minor? That's nuts. Last week, Yosber Valentin Capriel Barrios was arrested for 3 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, accused of shooting a juvenile in the arm. Is reported to have an immigration detainer hold. Oh, look. Another little white boy just out here committing crimes. Yep, see, white boy. A little white boy out here shooting white boys. Yosber Valentin Capriel Barrios. White male. Born in 2007. So he's only 20. He's just a 20-year-old. Oh, a little white boy, 20 years old, shooting other juveniles. Crazy. Source, Kissimmee arrest suspect. Let's see. We'll look at this. Let's see what it says. Maybe we'll get a little more information. If it comes up. Oh, look, another supposed white boy. Yeah, well, that's how they do. Harris County, Texas, illegal alien charged with 2 murders. Jefferson Velasquez has been charged with 2 fatal shootings. He's a Salvadoran national with an immigration detainer hold. Well, it's a good thing that El Salvador has this new prison called CCOT. I don't know. I don't have any bots in the chat. I don't know what you're talking about. I honestly don't. I don't see anything you're talking about in the chat. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any bots in the chat doing anything. I don't know what you're talking about. You're starting to confuse me. Why is there at least one retard in chat these days? I don't know. He's charged and accused of shooting that killed Angel Garcia. Velasquez is accused of shooting that killed Noah Ramirez and injured 2 others. So he's multiple shootings. Oh. The deceased teen was identified as Angel Garcia. The defendant was identified as Jefferson Velasquez. So, violent criminal apprehension team assisted our partners. Charges have been filed at the shooting. The victim was identified as Noah Ramirez. So, I mean, don't we have enough people? Confirmed illegal alien from El Salvador. Oh, yeah, he killed these other, He shot and killed someone in 2025 and was still free to kill more people in 26. Yeah, it's crazy. They should be treated as a foreign military operatives if they cure Americans. Yeah, I mean, this is just nuts. Why was he out free? Man, the detainer arrested for fatal crash. So Dallas, Texas. Michael Aguirre was arrested for collision involving death. Now look. Oh man, look at this. Another out here white guy out here killing people, driving cars. Michael Aguirre. Collision involving death. Right here. It says white male. There he is. He's a white male. You can see it. You can see it in his eyes. Greenville County, South Carolina. Legal alien arrested for fatal hit and run. Wow. This is crazy. 17-year-old Jose Martinez was killed while riding a skateboard in Greenville, South Carolina. Yes. Yes, I am ADA compliant. Yes, you have to. You have to be ADA compliant. You have to. So Hernandez also has a prior DUI charge. Now he has an ICE hold every single day. Yes. Oh, look. Oh, look at, yeah. Just another white guy out here drinking and driving, killing people. I mean, why isn't every illegal being deported? Well, skateboarding while undocumented, now with an extra felony is seasoning. Yeah, it's crazy. Howard County, Maryland, illegal alien arrested for a girlfriend's murder. So a killing of his girlfriend in Maryland is now in an immigration detainer hold.
Howard County police arrested the man who they say strangled his girlfriend. Police tell WBAL TV 11 News Darwin Carcamo Santiago killed Esmeraldo Perez Mendez at a home on Watchlight Court in Colombia. Officials believe he strangled her during the overnight hours between Saturday and Sunday. He was caught and arrested this afternoon in Texas. Howard County police.
Let's see. So he was arrested for murder and the strangulation death of his girlfriend. Although the murder took place in Howard County, he was arrested in McLennan County, Texas, where he has an immigration. So he was trying to flee. This guy, clearly another white guy, killed his girlfriend, was trying to flee. Yep, right here. See, white male, says right there. Darwin Gerardo Carcamo Santiago. Evading arrest. Immigration detainer. Oh, clearly. Confirmed illegal alien. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Now, Fairfax County, Virginia, illegal alien shot after fighting with police. Well, this I think is what you would call a feel-good story. You need to say white with the Stevie white with the Stevie Griffin lisp. White. Okay, I'll try it. Great format. Always suspect there was more crimes elsewhere, never in the news. Yeah. Upstanding citizen confirmed. Yeah. People wonder why I hate my birthday. Maybe I have to go next week. Can't always hate everything. YouTube censored that. Well, have I covered the Spain invasion yet? Yeah, we covered last week that was going on. So, man who was shot by Fairfax cops after he grabbed their gun, chasing wife with knife, is a legal alien who Fairfax DA Steve DiScummo freed after he suffocated, assaulted, and abducted somebody in 2026. Yeah, so this guy did all this stuff in 2026. Nehemiah Fuentes Benegas. He also has 6 no driver's license charges and reckless driving. So just another white guy out here, clearly. That, they just letting go, man. Nolly Pross. Look at that. Suffocation charges, criminal felony. Look at this. Abduction by force. Oh, look at that. Wow. Assault and battery of a family member. Wow, it's just nonstop. And then DiScummo, confirmed that the Annandale man who grabbed the officer's gun while wielding a knife is an illegal alien. Please shoot Fairfax man. Oh. I mean, don't we get, is it never enough? Is it never, Police, Fairfax officer shoots man. Fairfax man. Yeah, Fairfax man. Is it still going on? Wait, where'd it go? Is it's still going on? The Spain invasion. They're building shelters on the beach. Oh my God, really? Brillo pad gone bad. I guess this is about the police shooting. We'll see what they say.
Also developing right now, a man is recovering after he was shot by a Fairfax County police officer. Investigators say that man lunged for and grabbed the officer's gun.
This happened in a wooded area in Annandale. Officers say they were searching for the man.
Border Hawk is an online. It's an online news agency guy that covers the news. He also does on the ground reporting. Just go to borderhawk.com, www.borderhawk.com. He's also on Twitter, but yeah, he's an online news source.
Accused of threatening his wife with a knife. News 4's Paul Wagner joins us live from the scene with the latest. Paul, what are you learning?
Hi there, Anna and Erica. This is the wood line here behind me where the shooting took place just after 10 o'clock.
Wow, the wood line.
We're along Americana Drive in Annandale. It's in an apartment community here. According to police, this happened just after 10 when they got a call for a man with a knife who was threatening his wife and harming himself. They searched for the man and discovered that he may have gone into this wood line. So 3 officers went into the wood line, one with a taser, one with a handgun, and one with a dog, when suddenly this man, according to police, lunged out of a bush and grabbed the officer's gun.
In this still image taken from the officer's body camera and released by police, Chief Kevin Davis says the man had his hand around the officer's gun as the officer's trying to pull it back with both hands. As that's happening, Fairfax County Police say the officer fires 3 times, grazing the man's shoulder.
The officers, all 3 of them, relied on their experience and their training and the discipline. And I've been doing this for 3.5 decades. I've never had anyone grab my gun. And I think you can probably count on, one finger, the fingers left over, the number of police officers here or anywhere else that have literally had a suspect grab their
Count on
pistol.
one finger. With
In addition
fingers.
to being shot, Chief Davis says the man was tased.
That makes no sense.
He was taken to a nearby hospital where the chief says the 26-year-old was given stitches. This all began around 10 o'clock this morning when Chief Davis says the man's wife called 911 to say her husband was harming himself and threatening her with a knife.
As they were responding to the scene, they encountered both the husband, our suspect, running from the scene, and the wife pointing out to our responding patrol officers that yes, is in fact my husband.
Chief Davis says along the way, the man got rid of 2 knives he was holding and ran into the wood line. About 15 minutes later, the officers were searching the wood line when the 26-year-old surprised the officers, lunging out from behind a bush.
Comes out with a bush and grabbed the gun.
officer's gun.
And when I say grabbed, and I've seen this body camera footage in the past half an hour, at least 50 times I looked at it, our suspect takes his right hand, he grabs the firearm that the police officer had in his hand. The officer, obviously startled, discharged his firearm
Probably
3 times.
Chief Davis says the man is known to police, and officers have been to the home in the past on domestic violence calls.
Now, it's important to point out that the officers, when they went into the wood line, thought that the man was still armed with those knives. They didn't find out until later when officers in the real-time crime center were searching video that's available here in this apartment complex and actually saw video of the man discarding those knives, and then the officers went and found them and recovered them. But the man was not armed with the knives when he was shot, but the officers didn't know that.
He grabbed the gun, dummy. As soon as he touches the gun, he's armed with the gun. You make it, well, he wasn't armed when he shot. Yes, he was. He grabbed the gun. He was armed. As soon as you touch the cop's gun, you're armed. You're armed.
At the time, according to Chief Davis. The man's name has not yet been released, but he is facing charges. That's the latest here from Annandale. Now back to you.
Paul Wagner.
Wow, yeah. What an idiot. What an idiot. What an idiot. What an idiot. Doesn't matter why he's being pursued once he reaches the officer's gun. That's right. Congratulations to sperm gurgler. Virginia is safe for illegal aliens. Oh. On April 10th attack, including a suffocation abduction, he was facing 16 years in prison. He got none because Steve DeScummo dropped the charges. Wow. And he thinks he's going to get away with it again. Lee County, Florida. Man on detainer accused of ex-girlfriend's murder. William Rosa Diomaral, now on immigration detainer, has been accused of murdering his U.S.-born ex-girlfriend, Julia Pereira Calderia Lima. Oh, man. Oh, another white man killed his white girlfriend, clearly. Yeah, right here. See, white. You can't really see it, but it says white right there. Watch. White. You can see it real fast. There's a W right there. White male. Yeah. Yeah. Fort Myers police send their deepest condolences. Officers located adult victim who died from apparent gunshot wound. Yeah, this white male right here killed his pretty white girlfriend. Wow. That's terrible. She just graduated. She just graduated from college, too. She was going to be a rocket scientist or something. Unfortunately, she'll never get to find out because she was killed by another illegal alien. A man and detainer arrested for a stabbing. Webb County, Texas. Guillermo Duran Navarro turned himself in and is charged with aggravated assault for a 2025 stabbing of Victor Hugo Trevino. Yes. Another white male right here. Another white male over here killing people, stabbing them. This is crazy. How did I get all the way back here? Somehow I lost track of something here. I got onto the completely wrong thing here. Miami-Dade man and detainer arrested for attempted murder. Alian Alagueles was arrested for attempted murder, accused of trying to shoot his girlfriend for trying to end a relationship. Clearly another white man. Clearly.
A gun malfunction may have saved a woman's life, and now her ex-boyfriend is behind bars. NBC6's Valerie Ryan joins us from the Miami-Dade County Jail tonight with what we know about the case and the charges that man is now facing.
Yeah, there's definitely some really disturbing details in this story. And tonight, the suspect is not only facing a domestic violence charge, but also premeditated murder. Alain Arguelles is accused of trying to kill his girlfriend.
The victim tells us that after a 6-year relationship, she tried to end that relationship with him.
But according to the arrest report, Arguelles didn't take the breakup well. Police say he repeatedly punched her and then pulled out a gun.
He pulled out a gun, pointed it to her head, and he pulled the trigger.
But the gun malfunctioned, giving the victim a chance to get away. Now, this all happening last month inside a Hialeah apartment. Arguelles was arrested Monday. This video captured on Meta Ray-Ban glasses shows police outside a store where witnesses say they saw Arguelles being taken into custody. Authorities say they found a handgun on him when he was arrested, and that gun had been reported lost. Meanwhile, in bond court.
So you were arrested for 1 count of attempted premeditated murder and 1 count of battery. You also have an immigration hold.
Yes. Is he white also? Oh, clearly he's white. You see, he's all happy. He's in court. He's all happy. Let's see.
A gun.
Okay. Let's see here. Hope the smug smile gets wiped off his face. Yeah, Biden boys. Yes. Fairfield County, Connecticut. Illegal alien arrested for fatal hit and run. Illegal alien arrested for DUI manslaughter after a crash that killed a Connecticut cop and his girlfriend. So Connecticut cop and his girlfriend. You know what's funny is I don't believe the Connecticut senators have said anything about this.
A Stamford woman made her first court appearance today in the deaths of an off-duty Bridgeport police officer and his girlfriend. News 12 Connecticut's Marissa Alter was at Danbury Superior Court.
Ms. Ramirez is 27 years old and a lifelong resident of Connecticut.
Melissa Ramirez is accused of having a blood alcohol concentration of near
They just said a lifelong resident of Connecticut. How could she be a lifelong resident of Connecticut if she's an illegal alien? I'm going to back that up because you heard that, right? I heard that, right?
Is at Danbury Superior Court.
Ms. Ramirez is 27 years old and a lifelong resident of Connecticut.
So she said she's 27 years old and a lifelong resident of Connecticut. How is she an illegal alien then? Lifelong resident means you've lived there your entire life.
Melissa Ramirez is accused of having a blood alcohol concentration of nearly twice the legal limit when her SUV crossed into oncoming traffic and hit a motorcycle head-on, killing an off-duty Bridgeport police officer and his girlfriend. Cooper Whiteside and Brittany Islami were declared dead at the scene of the crash July 13th. It happened on Sugar Hollow Road in Danbury around 2:45 in the morning. On July 24th, the same day as Whiteside services, Ramirez was arrested on several charges, including second-degree manslaughter and driving under the influence. She was held on a $500,000 bond.
I'm going to ask that the bond remain as set. As Your Honor did sign the arrest warrant, I do know that you're familiar with the facts, so there's no need to lay out the tragic facts here. However, I will indicate for the record that there is a detainer on her from immigration. It is unclear to me exactly for what, other than statements.
Ramirez's attorney said she was born in Mexico but lived her whole life in Connecticut. He also said she has 2 children and family locally. He asked the court to adopt the bail commissioner's recommendation of $250,000.
I believe the family ties to the area could, soothe the court's concerns regarding any type of flight risk. She's got several family members here in the audience with her. She lacks any type of criminal record whatsoever.
According to Ramirez's arrest warrant, her blood alcohol content was 0.14, and she tested positive for cannabis. The warrant said the investigation determined Ramirez was traveling 63 miles per hour seconds before impact and 56 miles per hour when the crash occurred. The speed limit in the area is 45 miles per hour.
We look forward to looking at the accident reconstruction and the toxicology reports. But
Judge Sean McGinnis set bond at $300,000, but said it can only be posted once an ankle bracelet is installed. Any passports also have to be turned over.
Yeah, two people gone. All legal family members, I bet. Yeah. It's very clear that this country is fucked up. It is. Yeah. And no, there is a need to lay out the tragic facts of the case. There really is, right? I mean, to say, we don't want to. We don't want to lay out the tragic facts. She was born in Mexico, but she was born in Mexico. When did she enter U.S. Connecticut? Isn't close to the border. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Like, how would that happen? How could she have lived her whole life in Connecticut? How does an illegal have a passport? Well, maybe it's a Mexican passport. I want to look at something here just to see. Legal alien Melissa Esperanza was arrested for intoxicated manslaughter after crash. According to the arrest warrant, her blood alcohol was 0.14, twice the legal limit. Tested positive for cannabis. She struck a motorcycle head on. Source and documentation. So, Ramirez, inmate number, on sentence. Special parole. So, okay, we're not going to get it. But I'd more media coverage. We saw that. Death penalty should be on the table. Well-fed, booze, weed, and a Jeep, all courtesy of U.S. taxpayers. She's on New Britain voter rolls. Oh, look at this. She's a voter. How could she be a voter? Melissa Ramirez. Unqualified party. Oh. Found a listing having removed to New Britain in July and voter registration for it, and now the registration info is gone. So clearly there's a problem here if this person's on the voter rolls. Hello. Local press trying to hide the facts. I wonder if she had a driver's license. I hear it was her second DUI. And where'd the money for the car come from? These are questions real journalists would ask. Not just saying she's a Stanford woman. Her victims deserve better. Yeah. This is crazy. Why are illegals always drinking and driving? Yeah. All right. Now, number 25, Chester County, PA, illegal alien arrested for forced labor of minors. Forced labor of minors. This is crazy. Yeah. It's a madhouse. Probably tested positive for HIV and herpes as well. Yeah, drunk and high. Bella's toy is asking for cleaner air. Better? You also know if Congress is dumb about amnesty and puts a year limit on it, suddenly every one of them are long time or lifelong residents. Yeah, that's how they do it. Put those minors to work in the mines. Yeah. Was the car she was driving hers? We don't get that. Illegals don't vote, Jim. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's against the law. That's what I was told by somebody, that they don't vote. Oh, Korean Christians appeal to the Supreme Court. Well, good. Yeah, media is only concerned about the victim status of the illegals, not of their victims. Well, that's how they do. Ramiro Kayal Jalmana plead guilty to trafficking in individuals in involuntary servitude, forcing 2 minor girls with who he brought into the country to work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. Kayal Jalma is on an immigration detainer hold and is an illegal alien. At least one of the girls was sponsored by him, presuming she entered as a UAC and was placed in his custody by HHS. Wow. So that's an unaccompanied minor. Another white guy out here employing slavery.
Prosecutors say Ramiro Halamna helped bring 2 girls ages 14 and 17 into the United States and threatened to have them deported if they did not comply with his extreme demands. State police say he kept the victims out of school and subjected them to 16-hour workdays, 7 days a week on a mushroom farm with little to no compensation. Halamna is now being held on $1 million bail. Prosecutors say Ramiro.
Wow. Illegals are practicing chattel slavery in Pennsylvania. It's crazy. Crazy. Yeah, big or small, deport them all. That's what I say. Wow. All right. Hey, Uncle Alert, 440 joules. Thank you so much, Ken Krause. That means that's, I bet he was a fungi. Yes, Tony probably was. Great to see you, bud. So that means we're now just $66 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much, everybody. What type of mushrooms? Yeah, I wonder if they were psilocybin or if they were mushrooms people, like what kind of shrooms they were. That's the main question. The facts are good. The New Britain woman had the same name, not same DOB or same middle name. New Britain woman is a different person. Oh, okay. So major cities, Chiefs Association drops all violent crime. Reports drops and all for the first 6 months of this year for 66 of the 67 agencies. 17% drop in homicides, a 6% drop in rapes, and a 16% drop in robberies, and a 5.7% drop in aggravated assault. So I wonder if this has anything to do about all the illegals getting picked up and deported. Crazy, right? So major police chiefs find that violent crimes have dropped in 2026. Probably because a bunch of illegals are getting picked up. I have to say, I'd have to think that's probably it. That would be my guess, my question. So several major cities recorded particularly sharp declines. Washington, D.C. Oh, what do you know? Since there's a National Guard is patrolling and they're all taking care of it. So they only reported 46 homicides during the first half, down from 82 during the same report in 2025. North Carolina reported 4 homicides, down from 11. Miami, Florida reported 8, down from 16. Overall, participating agencies reported 449 fewer homicides in the first half of 2026. So the national numbers tell a remarkable story. Since national record keeping began in 1900, the previously record low murder rate was about 4.5 per 100,000. The rate stood at about 5 per 100,000 in 2024, but fell to just under 4 in 2025. If these numbers and the Council of Criminal Justice reflect a national trend, the U.S. murder rate could fall to roughly 3.25 to 3.28 per 100,000, the lowest rate ever recorded. Yeah, well, if you start getting rid of all the murderers and keep them from arresting, killing people, white crime should be going down as well. Should be. But the state claims it's another person with the same name and date of birth. Oh. Same birthday and same city, according to the person who dug it up. Okay. All right. Not all, just the worst of the worst. Imagine how it'll drop when they're all gone. So, yeah. So that's a good news. Good news story, right? All right, on to the next news story that was in the topics here. So Maddow and O'Donnell are giddy about the Iranian plot to assassinate Trump. Look at them laughing. Iranian assassination plot was apparently so credible that while leaving the NATO summit last month, the Secret Service deemed it necessary to play a shell game with Air Force One and spirit the president to a different Air Force plane. However, the leftist extremists at MS Now thought it was a rollicking affair. They thought it was how Trump lost control of this story. I'm very pleased, Maddow complained. I'm very pleased, they said. They're pleased that people try to kill Trump. What is going on? What is wrong with these people? Really? What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? Maddow and O'Donnell were over the moon talking about Trump hiding in a catering truck. What the? Trump hiding in a catering cart. And the thing is, I want most of the world, upon hearing the news, I was to hear Lawrence explain to me, and God bless you, Lawrence, please tell me. Oh, yeah, Trump was hiding in a...
Now I'm very... pleased to say it's time for the last word with Lawrence O'Donnell, which is more of a pleasure for me to say than usual, because the New York Times has just posted a headline on the front page of the New York Times website, which reads, Trump hid in a catering container to sneak out of Turkey. And honestly, that news has just broken. Trump hiding in a catering cart. And the thing I want most in the world upon hearing that news is to hear Lawrence O'Donnell explain it to me. And God bless you, Lawrence. Please tell me that you will.
It is issue number one in this hour of coverage. We're going to be relying on the Washington Post that broke the story a couple hours before the New York Times. And it's one of the many examples of how Donald Trump has lost control. He didn't just lose control of which version of Air Force One he got to use.
Okay, whatever. All right. Well, these guys are just idiots. Here's the actual story here. Trump secretly switched aircraft after Iran threat.
Kelly Meyer in Washington right now with breaking news about President Trump's trip out of Turkey after the NATO summit. And you will remember there was talk back then of an Iranian threat on Air Force One. Turns out it was far more serious than we understood. The Washington Post reporting tonight that President Trump took a secret military escort out of Turkey last month. After Trump boarded the old Air Force One in front of cameras in Ankara, he was secretly shuttled by an airport catering truck to a smaller plane. Kelly, do we have any idea what the threat was that would prompt this level of switching from the new Air Force One to the old one? We got that, the missile defense system. But then from the old Air Force One, this sleight of hand and moving the president, not even taking along the traveling press corps and not even taking along some aides onto this other plane.
Right. And then is it even considered Air Force One, the one that he was supposed to be on and the one that...
No, any plane the president is on is Air Force One. Any plane the vice president on is Air Force Two. That's the way it's supposed to work. Now, maybe they didn't change the call sign just because they wanted to keep it that way, like Nathan says. But that's the way it is. Hey, look at this. We got a gifted membership from Lurch Later. Thank you so much, Lurch. That means, folks, we are now just $60 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Let's see who got that membership. Yes, let's see who got it. It says, yeah, wow. says Rodney Letman. Rodney Letman, welcome to the JimSomniacs, courtesy of Lurch Linger. Thank you so much. They say I live in Haiti. Oh my God. What a slime ball she is. Look at that smile. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Trump doesn't control who tries to assassinate him. Yeah, it's like, oh, they should have controlled the story better. Crazy. Well, he lost control now because they needed to make emergency plans to avoid, assassination. Yeah, if he would just stop stopping them from killing him. He needs to just let him kill him. That's what they want. The special primary for South Carolina Senate heads to a runoff. Ours love burning their monetary advantage on retarded specials and runoffs. Yeah, it's crazy. It is. It's nuts.
The White House said he was on when he was really on a separate military aircraft, a smaller jet that he snuck onto using that catering service truck. It's just a wild story from the Washington Post tonight, scooping this.
He didn't sneak onto the plane. They snuck him onto the plane. He didn't sneak on. The people knew that he was going on the plane. He didn't just come sneaking on and they didn't know he was on there. Come on, lady, use your fucking words correctly. You're a broadcaster. You're supposed to be putting facts forward. And you're saying things in a retarded way that make it sound like Trump just crawled through the back door and nobody on the plane knew he was there.
And I remember that day, and I know we were reporting on it here, Leland. It was July 8th. It was when he was at the NATO summit in Turkey. He took a chance traveling there in the first place. It was close in proximity to Iran as the war in Iran is going on. There was an active threat. He had said it when he was asked questions in that press conference at the NATO summit that he is the top target for Iran for an assassination attempt. And I remember even in that pool note that White House reporters got who were on the old Air Force One aircraft that the president was supposedly on, they were told to lower their shades when they took off from Turkey. All the while, the president was on a separate aircraft and they made sure he was safe. And I remember talking with Secret Service and other sources at the time saying they would do whatever they had to keep the president safe. And even the White House tonight telling me in a statement that they have a range of options available essentially, and that they didn't really deny a third jet was used in that statement that they shared with me just moments ago.
Well, whatever they have to do, pretended for this, and certainly previewed what would end up coming out. Kelly Meyer, thank you very much.
I mean, it's just ridiculous, the fact that they think what they're supposed to tell you was a catering truck full of Big Macs. If it was, Trump would have ate them all. The dimwits don't know about that they were the ones left on the target. Yeah, well, whatever. There was a plan and the mainstream media was left out of the loop and now they're butthurt. Yeah, if they told you what was going on, you guys would have broadcast it. You would have tried to get them killed. Hey, look at this. We got a $5 super Rumble rant from Brain Socks, a little for the goal. Well, thank you so much. With that 5, folks, that means we are now just $55 away. We're almost halfway there. We're almost halfway to another hour. Look at that. We're just 55 away from another first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. All right. Let's get into this next story. What do you say? Gamer recruitment campaign has led to record air traffic control hiring. So they're using gamers, video gamers, to be air traffic controllers. I don't care if he got home in a good humor truck wearing a white coat and a hat. Yeah. The FAA hired 2,000 controllers this year, the highest annual total in its history. So the FAA reached historic hiring levels of air traffic controllers through its campaign to target gamers. TSA Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said that they supercharged the hiring process to get the best and the brightest fast. There you go. ATC consoles with Xbox controllers. I guess so. I guess they just, whatever. As a result, the TSA hit 94% of its hiring goal, which is the fastest the agency reached that goal. What is President Trump's Secret Service name? I have no idea. That's not supposed to be public information, I don't think. Those figures translate into 2,000 new controllers hired, which is the most ever hired in a single year, according to Duffy. Those candidates made it to training faster than any class before them. Hopefully it's DCS players and not GTA players. Yeah. We're building the strongest, sharpest workforce in aviation history. So the slogan is, it's not a game, it's a career. The department stated that it's targeted for gamers' unique transferable skill set, including high cognitive function, spatial awareness, multitasking, and strategy and problem solving. The FAA announced its plan to target gamers for recruitment, saying it could help solve the industry's decades-long shortage of controllers. So to reach the next generation of air traffic controllers, we need to adapt. So yeah, so it's a hard set of skills. It's a hard set of skills that it takes to be a successful controller. The FAA has suffered a shortage of controllers since the 1980s. The issue was exacerbated during the COVID-19 pandemic when thousands of professionals retired. According to the U.S. Labor Statistics Bureau, working as an air traffic controller can be stressful because maximum concentration is required at all times. I wonder if they're playing Galaga while they're doing it. It's a joke. However, the typical entry-level education for controllers is an associate degree with no related fieldwork experience. The median pay is more than $144,000 a year, so that's a good career. Yeah, they sit in front of screens for hours on end. Yeah, there you go. There you go. No, Jim, AI says it's mogul, some secret. Oh, okay. Staffing shortages have increased pressure on the controllers. The FAA has acknowledged the lack of air traffic controllers contributed to mandatory overtime and fatigue concerns. DEI ran off the good air traffic controllers, yes. Retired or fired because they refused to poison. Oh, not Galaga, Missile Command, obviously. That's a joke from the first Avengers movie. Right? Was it Avengers? Yeah, it was the first Avengers movie where Robert Downey Jr. comes on to the helicarrier, I think it was called, and goes, Batman's playing Galaga. Reagan fired them. He fired a bunch of them because they went on strike. So he's like, all right, you're fired. Recruitment comes just days after the TSA welcomed David Cummings as the new administrator. TSA is building for future innovation and cutting-edge technology. Cummings said the new role, we do not have to choose between a secure checkpoint, an efficient checkpoint, and an elevated experience. In fact, our mission demands that we achieve all three at once. TSA will deliver on its role to secure the golden age of travel. Well, that's good news to hear, right? See, the post-millennial says, American gamer recruits to become air traffic controllers helped the FAA hit 94% of its hiring goal. So, did they still... Missile Command and Galaga were early video games. Yes. Well, yeah. Let's see here. So we got a video.
You guys are trying to recruit gamers?
They problem solve, they're spatially aware, they do multiple things at the same time.
I've been a gamer most of my life.
They are looking for people that play video games. Okay, well, that definitely fits me.
Yeah, you know what? I'm one of them.
You can merge gaming with aviation. Why not? It's like the best of both worlds.
I actually encountered the gamer ad.
I grew up playing a lot of flight simulators. I've always loved airplanes.
The similarities, making decisions in just a couple seconds or less.
So I wrote down the date and I stayed up till 12 until they launched the application.
I went out, passed the test, and I can't wait to become an air traffic controller overall.
This is my dream career because I think ATC is the coolest thing ever.
This is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life. I'm going to have a proud wife, 3 sons.
I have my wife at home, 2 little girls. Great opportunity for me and my family.
We've never had a group perform that well.
Wow. They've never had a group perform that well. That's crazy. Oh, okay. Well, I hope it works. Air traffic controllers remain particularly concerned because specialized training is required for the position. It takes time to bring new employees into the workforce. The 43-day federal government shutdown was a problem, okay, plunging the nation into a funding crisis, forcing 13,000 air traffic controllers to manage high-stress shifts without pay. Wow. Yeah, I mean, how could you force these people to work without pay? That's crazy. That's just nuts. Fox DC just says targeting gamers as air traffic controllers is highly successful for recruitment. Well, okay. I hope it works. All right. We got this story. The ACLU launches a legal challenge to Trump's new birthright citizenship order. Damn those those are the best and brightest. We will see. No, I mean, got to remember, things are not the same as they used to be. Choose the job you love, and it's not a chore. That's right. That's right. I hope they stress during the training that a mistake that causes death isn't corrected with a restart. Yeah, you can't just restart the game over when you crash a plane. Let's hope they take the job seriously. I hope so. My 9-year-old grandson thinks it's fire. Okay, cool. What could go wrong? Well, there's a lot that could go wrong. The chain migration grandmother's on the phone across the street. I'm learning Spanglish. Okay, cool. American Civil Liberties Union on Tuesday launched a legal challenge to the new executive order. They requesting that the district court in New Hampshire rule that Trump can't use the new order to deny birthright citizenship. President Trump may not like the fact that birthright citizenship is a constitutional right. Oh, whatever. It's well past time for these illegal, cruel attacks on children's citizenship to end. No, I don't think so. So the new order is narrower than the original executive order. Trump argues that the new order aligns with the narrow constitutional exceptions.
The Supreme Court already turned down one attempt to stop birthright citizenship this year, but President Trump signed new executive orders this week, trying again. This year, but President Trump signed new executive orders this week, trying again. The Trump administration is taking another shot at cracking down on birthright citizenship. The president signed executive orders banning birth tourism and also stopping children of designated alien enemies from receiving automatic citizenship. It comes after the Supreme Court struck down his other attempts to end the practice earlier this year.
We had a very unfortunate decision in the Supreme Court concerning birthright. It was close, but a very, very unfortunate decision. So we're making adjustments because it's very unfair.
Traveling to the U.S. for the sole purpose of having a baby, but lying about the reason, is already illegal. Trump says there's an entire industry catering to
it. So they're saying it's already illegal, so he can't do anything about it. Kind of like all these Democrats want about the illegals voting. It's like, it's already illegal, so we just got to let them do it. If they're willing to lie about it, I guess we can't do anything about it. That's the way they feel about it.
Wealthy people are building businesses around birthright citizenship. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It's a disgrace. They're buying their way in, and we're not going to let it happen.
Numbers are hard to nail down. CDC data as of 2024 showed less than 10,000 births to foreign residents. A Migration Policy Institute study from this year put the number between 22,000 and 26,000, while still calling it rare. There's about 3.6 million total births in the United States per year.
We're seeing the international aspect, but we're also seeing the domestic access, whether that's somewhere to stay, whether that's a plan in terms of actually giving birth. So these entire networks operate internationally, domestically.
Federal and state officials have cracked down on advertisements like this one for Chinese nationals promoting birth tourism. The latest executive order limitations may also eventually have to be decided by the High Court.
I think that these executive orders will run into the same problem as the first one, but we do see President Trump doing, frankly, what he did with the travel ban, where he starts big and then it narrows and narrows.
The House Oversight Committee has already opened an investigation into birth tourism, demanding documents from a company called Have My Baby in Miami, while also saying it's predominantly done by Russian and Chinese nationals and that it poses both a national security and elections threat.
It's more done by Chinese than Russians, I would believe. So here's the Reuters. Just says ACLU and others urge judge to block Trump's birthright orders. Afuera already. That's right. It's rare because they don't keep records on citizenship of parents, a.k.a. they don't look. Exactly. Is it rare for something to be scheduled and happen every day? It's crazy, isn't it? Who creates the bogus laws? Well, I don't know. Have my baby in my hammy. That's right. So the group say the order should not undermine the earlier injunction. ACLU and other groups ask a federal judge to block President Trump from enforcing new executive orders that limit the number of people eligible for birthright citizenship. In Tuesday's court filing, the group called Trump's orders an improper attempt to evade the Supreme Court's rejection. Oh, you mean like when Biden said the Supreme Court tried to stop me, but I wouldn't let him? I just did it anyway? Like that? Is that what they're talking about? Because this ain't it. It's saying, oh, okay, this is what they said. All right, well, these are the exceptions here. They're invading army. They're this, they're that. They're not, they don't meet the criteria. So we'll have to see. The Supreme Court said on the executive order issued the day the Republican began his second term in the White House violated the Constitution's 14th Amendment. So despite the Supreme Court's clear direction, the president continues to claim for himself the power to identify categories of children whose citizenship he intends to deny. Yeah. Trump administration always follows court orders. All actions taken by the president since the recent order are consistent with the holdings. Trump's latest order from August 6 takes particular aim at birth tourism. Citizenship will be denied to children whose parents work for foreign governments in the United States, engage in fraud to obtain citizenship, or are classified as alien enemies. Makes sense. So, the Center for Immigration Studies estimated that 20 to 26,000 mothers entered the country for birth tourism annually. Wow. So that's not rare. 26,000 is not rare. That's not rare. It's not rare. Okay. Luigi Mangione's New York City trial rules revealed as court okays 86 news organizations, anonymous jury, after concerns of intimidation by sick fans. This is crazy.
Good morning, LJ. A month out from the start of that murder trial, the accused killer's defense team is now demanding that the proceedings be broadcast live, saying in part, quote, criminal defendants have a Sixth Amendment right to a fully public, open, and unbiased trial. This means that every member of the public and press who wishes to see the Mangione trial should be permitted to do so. In a new court filing, Mangione's defense claims the court and DA are hand-selecting which reporters can attend, claiming that they were given no chance to be heard before those.
Okay. So jurors in the high-profile case remain anonymous. Rules for the hotly anticipated trial set to begin next month. The judge said the proceedings would include an overflow room to accommodate additional space for media and spectators. Media attention surrounding the case and the efforts by some of the defendant's supporters to intimidate witnesses and interfere it's going to place extraordinary pressure on witnesses. So, Mr. Seidemann, this is not the first rodeo in this court with a high-profile case. Judge seethed during his opening speech, later approving both audio and video feeds from for the overflow room. Well, so let's see here. Now, this is Fox's actual coverage of it. Let's see here.
Happening today, accused United Healthcare CEO killer Luigi Mangione is due in court for a status conference ahead of next month's murder trial. And the accused killer's defense team already obtaining permission for Mangione to wear civilian clothing instead of prison attire.
Yeah, Mangione will now be granted a suit, shirt, a pair of socks, and a pair of shoes without laces to wear to his trial. Fox News contributor and criminal defense attorney Josh Ritter joins us now. Josh, Mangione's team argues that his appearance matters in such a highly publicized case. Is this normal? Does this matter at all, the fact that he can wear civilian clothing?
It is normal. It matters in the sense that you want to make sure that the defendant gets a fair trial. And one of the ways that you can ensure doing that is that he doesn't come out in his jail jumpsuit to appear for trial, especially in front of jurors. But I think more than anything, it indicates this hyperfixation that the defense now seems to have about the public perception of this case. You remember not so long ago, they filed a motion to, have cameras inside of the courtroom, which is not allowed according to New York state law. They want an exception to that. They want this case live streamed. And they've also asked for an overflow room to have more media passes because they were taking issue with the members of the media who were granted passes, and they feel that it wasn't enough. They're concerned about how this is being perceived. And I don't think it's so much that they're concerned about him getting a fair trial, if I'm allowed to be cynical on this. I think it's because they realize that he's got so much support from the outside world, these radical people who view this case, and they somehow want to be able to I don't know, showcase this trial to those folks.
You know, when you talk about the jury and how he's perceived to the jury, I mean, this has been such a highly publicized case. And, you know, women in particular went crazy over this guy. Does it really matter?
God, that voice is just grating. Oh, my
I feel
God.
like it's going to be hard enough to find a jury that doesn't know anything about this case.
Yeah, they're really going to have to pay close attention to jury selection in this case. Jury selection is usually the most important part of a trial, but here more so than a case that I can think of in recent memory, because you've got to be concerned, especially from the prosecutor's perspective, about people trying to sneak their way on essentially to this jury and posing as impartial members of the community who just may happen to have been summoned into this jury. You remember not too long ago, too, speaking about the media as well, there were people outside who were radical protesters on behalf of Luigi Mangione who were carrying around press lanyards. They had been given granted press access by the officials there in New York. Again, you can understand the concern that prosecutors have for how this case is being handled, especially from a media perspective.
Yeah, prosecutors are concerned about the media, and as you also sort of alluded to, they're concerned about Mangione's supporters, and we saw the really concerning reaction to the killing online. And the prosecutors actually filed a letter to the judge yesterday talking about some of their concerns, and it reads, quote, "The media attention surrounding this case and the efforts of some of the defendant's supporters both to intimidate witnesses and to interfere with the functioning of the jury will place extraordinary pressure on witnesses and potential jurors alike." Now, with regard to the media question, Mangione's team wants more media coverage, and it reminds me, it's the exact opposite of what we saw play out with the Tyler Robinson case. Why do you think Mangione's team wants this? We saw the psychiatric defense pulled after the judge said that they would have to reveal Mangione's records. What is their angle here with this perceived lack of media access argument?
Yeah, it's ironic, isn't it? In the Tyler Robinson case, we spent days and days in court arguing about whether or not cameras should be allowed in at all. Here you have another very high-profile case, and they're saying that they want more access. They want it streamed, even though state law doesn't allow for it. What is their motive behind that? What is their strategy there? It's hard to tell. I think more than anything, though, this man sent a message. He sent a message through this murder. He didn't know this man at all. He didn't know him other than the role that he played, the position that he had, the job that he carried. And so he sent a message, and I imagine some of this is probably marching orders coming from their clients saying, with him saying, listen, I don't want this case to be handled in the shadows, as it were. I want it to be very public. Now, you listen to that letter from the prosecutors, and it almost sounds like we're talking about a mafia case, the way that they're concerned about intimidation of witnesses. And I think rightfully so. Like I said, I think they should be concerned about people making their way onto the jury and jury nullification issues. I think they should also be concerned about security for the witnesses. And I think that's why they're concerned about an overflow room. The more people that you have who have access to that courtroom and are able to view it live, the more people that you have that are able to identify those witnesses and perhaps intimidate them.
And it's not just normal television journalists now. It's everybody with a YouTube channel, social media. It's a ton of people. Josh, thank you so much.
We don't want everybody with a YouTube channel being able to cover the trial. That would be crazy, right? So I want to get this real here. Ways to Craig Ranger has a great point here. He says, anyone remember the Stallone movie Cobra, based on dealing with the cult? By the end of it, even the effing police were in on it. Yes, I remember that movie. Crime is a disease, and I'm the cure. He didn't even have insurance with the company. He was a hitman. Yeah, no, that's what happens. That is what happens these days. That is what happens these days. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. So the record. Let's see. The people have documented threats, harassments, exposure of personal information directed at individuals perceived as connected to the case, including witnesses and others. He ordered the jurors' names and addresses be secret from everyone but the parties in the case to protect them from harassment and threats. Oh, so that means Mangione's going to know who they are so he can give them to people. Any way they can find him not guilty, they're going to do it. Yeah. Judge says these measures do not close the courtroom, limit public access to the proceedings, or impose any prior restraint on press coverage. They are limiting protections direct solely at preventing harassment and preserving the integrity of the jury process. Rather than alleging that a pending actual threat exists, as the statute requires, the people instead engage in speculation and conjecture. However, the statute explicitly requires a threat that exists, not one that might happen in the future. Oh, there's a threat. The people out there are a threat. So I don't want to hear any more about this, he told So Sides. I think there have to be 2 overfull rooms. I'll take one. Oh, let's see. Well, this is his lawyers.
We're gonna squeeze through you. Any elevator problems today?
Watch your back.
Oh.
They're lawyers. They're wearing a tie.
Mr. Niffler, how do you think it went?
I'm not commenting, especially when my wife is here. You'll get me in trouble.
How is Luigi doing right now? Mr. Niffler, how's Luigi doing? How's your client doing right now? So sorry, we're not commenting. What do you think about the judges sort of admonishing?
Okay, so if they're not gonna comment, and yet they're still gonna stay on them and just follow them, well, that's stupid. So, all right. And then we had a story the other day about the Kami Mandami's wife going to Syria and Lebanon and Beirut and Syria, and was going to have NYPD escorts. Well, I guess they changed their mind about that. I guess they changed their mind about that. Yeah. Guess they changed their mind about that. Mandami, red face Kami Mandami blames his staff after NYPD denies the first lady a police escort to the Middle East. Like, why would she get a police escort to the Middle East? That makes no sense. What a cop-out. A seemingly red-faced Mandami blamed a miscommunication Tuesday after an off-work public clash between City Hall and the NYPD officials over whether the department would provide security for his wife, an upcoming Middle East trip. Yeah, who cares how he's doing? Yeah. Halal NYPD like London. Yeah. High-profile back and forth appeared to end when His Honor asserted that Dawaji would not receive a taxpayer-funded escort on her jaunt to Syria and Lebanon, despite his own senior spokesperson claiming he would the day prior. She would the day prior. Oh. There was a miscommunication. She has not yet taken the trip, and when she takes the trip, it will be without an NYPD detail. A source familiar with the security detail said the First Lady, whom the mayor described as a private person, requested the escort, and Mandami's office confirmed she would be accompanied by city cops. Yeah, world's finest taxi service. Yes, the world's finest taxi service was actually a service that the NYPD ran out of Fort Apache, the Bronx, where they would escort people with things they shouldn't have. They were out of police escort. They would pick them up and take them so they would be protected. Yeah, his family's rich. Let him pay for private security. Yeah. Upon the strong recommendation of the NYPD, the First Lady security detail will be joining her when she travels to Syria and Lebanon. That's what the spokesperson says. No, the NYPD never said that. Yeah, more like the miscommunication was that it got reported before it happened. Yeah. People found out about it and said, no. Yeah, private security paid for by the taxpayers. Yeah, no, that's not supposed to happen. So City Hall's assertion drew a stunning response from the NYPD Tuesday morning. The NYPD does not send officers to countries with level 4 travel advisories for discretionary reasons, not linked to investigative work. This is not an investigative trip, and therefore NYPD personnel will not be traveling there. I'm sure he's probably going to fire the police commissioner for saying it. The statement not only undercut the assertion, but it effectively amounted to NYPD publicly breaking with their boss. One source familiar with the mishap said simply, they never checked with the commissioner. When asked about the disparity, they said Mandami's remark attributed the matter to a miscommunication. Mayor's office offered no further comment. A source familiar told the Post it's not official business. It's not doing anything for the city. Both countries on the State Department's do not travel list. The prospect of sending NYPD cops to countries on the do not travel list struck former police commissioner Bill Bratton as ill-advised. Yeah, just get her a Kevlar flying carpet. There you go. There would be a lot of hoops you'd have to go through for that kind of assignment. So you're going to have to clear up this confusion, he said. Mangione had to tighten up his communication protocols with the NYPD, who served as communication director for George Pataki. He said a deference to law enforcement on security measures. I suspect communication between the mayor's office and the police department will be better in the future. The political folks want to run ahead of the story. It doesn't work that way when it comes to security. The NYPD wants to be there to protect the mayor and his family, but there are limits. Going to Syria and Lebanon is not buying a ticket on Amtrak. The NYPD used to be the finest cops till after Giuliani was out of office. Yeah. So Douaji, a 29-year-old Syrian, traveled overseas just last month without police protection. She co-hosted a pro-Palestinian spiritual retreat to the French island of Corsica. So within days of Mangione taking office, Tish angrily stormed the City Hall to read the riot act over his tardy response to back-to-back police shootings. She regularly broke with Mangione in the following months, such as when the mayor brushed off a crowd pummeling two cops with snow as a snowball fight to get out of hand. So yeah, she should realize he doesn't like the cops, and she is a cop, so they don't like that. Mangione's a corrupt commie. He's bankrupting the city, yet he wants to spend taxpayer dollars to have city police as bodyguards for his wife. They should just offer her a catering car. Yeah, give her something she can make some money. Seattle's jail diversion program resulted in more dead participants than employed ones. This is crazy. This is insane. This is insanity. A Seattle criminal justice diversion program that became a model for jurisdictions across the United States was promoted with claims of dramatically reducing arrests and improving participants' lives. However, a new report says that not only were widely cited claims of major reduction in arrests and felony charges substantially overstated, participants were 3 times more likely to end up dead than employed. Well, I guess if they're dead, they can't commit any more crime, right? I mean, I guess that is kind of solving it, isn't it? So defunding is no good. Who needs cops, right? I don't know. For more than a decade, governments across the United States have been told that Seattle's law enforcement division assisted diversion produced remarkable results. Participants were 58% less likely to be arrested. Felony charges fell 39%, and employment and housing outcomes dramatically improved. But what they didn't say is 3 times as many people were dead. It's hard to commit crimes when you're dead. So I guess this is one way to get rid of recidivism, right? So they allege that Leeds foundational research was repeatedly misrepresented as Seattle-born program expanded across the country, helping influence legislation, government grants, municipal budgets, and other public and private funding in more than 20 states. Among 176 lead participants examined for employment outcomes, 91% remain unemployed. The reports contrast those results with the Bureau of Labor Statistics research tracking men after release from at least 6 months of incarceration. According to BLS, 33% were employed within 1 week of release. 50% were employed by week 10. But in Seattle, it's only 9%. According to a report, 3 times as many lead participants died as the estimated number who gained employment during the study period. Lead research has been promoted with claims that participants' odds of being housed increased 89%, or the participants were 89% more likely to obtain permanent housing. Of 146 participants who were unhoused when they entered lead, an estimated 19 were permanently housed in a given month during the 18-month follow-up, equivalent to just 18% of those entering without permanent housing. Oh, my God. Shelter placement performed somewhat better, with an estimated 31 participants appearing to be sheltered in a given month. So that's not saying that's just like that for 1 month, in a given month, it was that many. Not that Karen's here. Good evening, my fellow anti-communists. Just got in for mowing my 1.5 acre. Well, congratulations. Seattle is also considering lowering the amount of times juveniles can be caught with firearms before being jailed for 30 days from 5 to 3. Oh, how about jailing them the first time? It would be crazy, right? It'd be crazy for punishing somebody the first time they commit a crime. There was another major limitation. The portion of the lead study did not use a control group. The report therefore compares the results with federal housing data from King County over roughly the same period. The county's sheltered homeless rate declined slightly from 70% in 2012 to 69%. Okay, so that's like 1 percentage point. Zimmerman concludes the connection participants to shelter and housing may nevertheless represent lead's most plausible treatment effect beyond reducing contact with the criminal justice system. Even on permanent housing, the number of participants who died was approximately half the estimated number entering permanent housing. Wow. I guess being dead, you're permanently housed when you're in a casket, right? So using the dramatically different numbers, including the participants were 58% less likely to be arrested. The report argues that researchers reported an odds ratio that was substantially subsequently promoted to a 58% reduction in arrest, crimes, and recidivism. The report identifies similar problems with the claims that they reduced felony charges by 39% and improved employment outcomes by 46%, arguing that promoters repeatedly confused mathematical concepts, including odds, probability, and absolute versus relative change. So the report identifies an unadjusted 22% point difference between lead participants and the control group after entry. Zimmerman cautions that even that difference cannot reliably be attributed to lead because groups experience different recruitment practices, policing patterns, and timelines. The report argues that 11 percentage point unadjusted difference in felony rates cannot be attributed to lead changing participants' criminal behavior because the justice system itself treats lead participants differently. Okay, so the North Carolina has continued to expand the model, announcing $1.5 million in funding. Oh, that's probably why that guy who murdered Zarutsky was out of jail, because they were doing this. Sorry, statistician talk. No problem. Studied the Minneapolis domestic violence. Okay. So the report documents versions of the 58% claim appear in sources including Seattle Police Department, Michigan State Police, New Mexico State Legislature. Yeah, so they create a lie and then they use it to try to push this crap somewhere else. It's crazy. Oh, wow, look at this. People do the reports, never took a statistics class, I guess. Ken Krause with 5 Jim tells you membership. Wow, look at that. That is crazy numbers right there, folks. That means, folks, we're just 25 away now, people. Just $25 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. That's it, 25 away. Thanks for being here, Just Rhonda. Let's see who got those. Let's see who got those 5. Let's see. It says Mike Demore, 92.59. A Toys R Us Kid, 76. Bonita Beach, 31.27. Hey, Bonita Beach, that's over by me. Robin Sage and Johnny Scab received gifted memberships. Johnny Scab over there in London. What do you know? Well, welcome to the JimSomniacs. Johnny Scab, Robin Sage, Bonita Beach, Toys R Us Kid, and Mike Demore. Welcome to the JimSomniacs. And thank you, Ken Krause, for the 5 gifted members. The 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. And what do you know? I'll send 5 free myself. Because why not? Anytime someone sends 5, I give away 5 free that I have if I have them. And it says that S. Fontaine got one for me, Janet Lee, Beautiful Messy Ball, Richard Wharton, and Trinal Galaxy. All received free memberships from moi. Rally time from Jonathan Martin. Thank you for 5. That means now we're just 20 away, folks. Just 20 away from a first additional hour. Bang. Yes. So Zimmerman argues that the policymakers around the country were making decisions about alleged evidence-based criminal justice using statistics that exaggerated what the underlying research could prove. Well, of course, that's what they always do. That's right, 5. Ken Krause, you got 5. I said thank you for the 5. Thank you so much. That's $30. 5 times 6 is 30. Thank you. And I gave away 5 too. Oh, look at this. Fort Doxy Mom says, I'm in, and I believe.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
With that $20 from Fort Doxy Mom, folks, that means we are now just $100 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you, everybody, for being super duper uber generous. That's awesome. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Yay. You're 5, brother. Oh, well, thank you. Way to go, Doxy Mom. That's right. Way to go. Way to go. Wow. That means I could start another goal on the YouTube for another hour. Right there. I'll do that as we're talking here. We'll add another hour to the show. No. We'll start a goal. Another 10 yellow super chats, let's say. 10 10s for 1 hour. And we'll say that for every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, YouTube super chats, Rumble Rants, and all that jazz. That means we will be, yeah. We're currently 100 away from a second additional hour. There we go. Bam. Started. Goal is going. Mm-hmm. You hated the crown? Oh, you should. Why not? Get your crown just by knowledge. There you go. That's right. So, California authorized lead pilots. New York authorized. Albany, New York launched lead. North Carolina. They're now calling on governments already operating lead to pause expansion until they know. For drug offenses, report recommends strengthening framework to increase the certainty of arrest. There you go. Jurisdictions currently considering lead, meanwhile, should suspend adoption until rigorous evidence demonstrating real-world participant outcomes is available. There you go. That's right. Look what you did. Proud papa of 2 wieners, myself. Well, there you go. Thank you. Jim is a good one. Well, thank you. Wad cutter or semi-jacketed hollow point? Well, it depends. If you're going to be shooting paper, you should go with wad cutters. They make nice, perfect round holes. But semi-jacketed wad cutters or hollow points, they're good for, non-paper. Hey, Finch, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. So he also called for a published scholarship that inadvertently repeats inaccurate descriptions of the lead research. So there you go. Well, that's a good idea. All right. Now, at this story here, it says Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel refuses to attend the Demon Rat Convention due to threats from radical anti-Semitic lefties. Rips the party's double standards. And so he's like, I'm a Jew. I can't go. The radical left is eating itself alive. Michigan's own far-left Demon Rat Attorney General has publicly announced she was going to refuse to attend the Michigan Democrat Party nominating convention. The reason? She fears being attacked by the Jew haters. During an interview, the Jewish AG ripped her own party. Myself and other Jewish electeds are subject to a barrage of anti-Semitic threats, and that's been happening since my first day in office, long before October 7th. Oh my God. It's not funny, but Jim is. Truth. What? What do you mean? What am I doing? They do that to Meat Target as well. Oh yeah, the Meat Target. Oh, I'm a Charvon. I am a Paul Harrell fan. I shed a tear when he passed away. Yeah. Myself and other, yeah. So, but in addition to that, we've seen the Democrat Party of late in Michigan is full of people who hate Jews. My Windows 11 forced was just as bad as Jim's cooling situation. Oh my God, that's terrible. So let's see. Here she is. She's going to give a.
You recently made the decision to skip the Michigan Democratic nominating convention. It'll happen this month. You said so due to safety concerns and anti-Semitic harassment. What specifically have you experienced, and what concern did you have about attending the Democratic Party nomination contest?
Well, look, myself and other Jewish electeds are subjected to a barrage of anti-Semitic threats. And that's been happening literally since my first day in office in 2019, long before October 7th. But in addition to that, what we've seen in the Democratic Party as of late here in Michigan is that we're not seeing the same kind of civil discourse that we used to be able to have, and the ability to have a diversity of ideas and opinions that are, respected.
Is your party doing enough to address those concerns, Madam Attorney General?
Yeah, I would say absolutely they're not. And I would just point to the example that we have 5 members of the Democratic Party who have been charged with anti-Semitic acts of violence, of vandalism and harassment and threats to other Democratic officials, some of whom are Jewish, and including an attack on the Jewish Federation of Detroit. So those people are still permitted to come to the convention. And it's just baffling to me that while these charges are pending, they're going to be allowed to be there despite, these credible charges against them. So I think that there's a lot that we could do. We could enforce a code of conduct that says that, again, you can't chase people around the convention yelling at them. It's not appropriate to boo people off the stage, even if it's a candidate whose ideas you don't support. We should all have the opportunity to be heard, if we are members of the party.
Yeah, if you're members of the party. Well, what about those people? Don't they have a right to be heard if they're members of the party? The modern demon rat party is run by lawless radicals. The party bosses are more than happy to coddle extremists. Yeah, because this is who it is. The former DSA member says the organization does not tolerate internal dissent. It's more radical than people realize. You don't say.
DSA itself makes a distinction, an important distinction, between paper members, who are people who give the organization their credit card and never come to a meeting, and cadre, who are hardcore activist members who show up to all the meetings and do all the work. The cadre are incredibly radical. The paper members might be, think AOC and Bernie Sanders are great and let's get Medicare for all. That is not the hardcore that's running the organization. It is not. They are extremists. Many of them believe that any means are justified to achieve their goal. They are explicitly revolutionaries. They want to pull down our government institutions. They want to pull down our economic order. And they really do believe this, that they can build something better in its place.
They can't even build a good case of the clap. That's the problem. That's nuts. These people are crazy. And this is who they're talking about going. So, hey, look at this. Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you, Dizzy D over there on the Rumbles, gifted 5 memberships. The first one went to Glitzy Glam Fairy. If you haven't got yourself a Rumble membership, if you head on over to Rumble, there's still 4 available. All you got to do is say something in the chat on Rumble, on my channel, and pick yourself up. Oh, my God, the clap. Yeah, they can't even build a good case of the clap. That's a joke from Heartbreak Ridge. Clint Eastwood movie. Gunny Highway says, because what was the guy's name? Some sergeant major, something else said, said something about being major power. Me and Major Powers are building a elite fighting squad, and he goes, "You couldn't build a good case of the clap." I know, I'm old. I know Clint. All right, thank you so much. It says also, Cadino Doctor received a gifted membership. Gundam, Random Clap Outbreaks, chat can get a dose. That's right. Nixie Nix received a membership from Dizzy D. There you go. So that means, folks, we are now just 75 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you all so much. Oh, and King of Biltong and Brain Socks all received gifted memberships. So Glitzy Glam Fairy, Cadino Doctor, Nixie Nix, King of Biltong and Brain Socks are all members of the JimTellsYou now for the next 30 days. If you use the ointment, the rash will go away. They can't be left alone with Legos. That's right. Boom, boom. Oh, here's another one. Confessions of a DSA organizer.
Jake Altman, thank you so much for being here. Our audience will be intrigued to
Oh, wait.
learn that you were once a diehard.
Oh, I can't. This is a whole thing. I can't play the whole thing. So, but yeah. So if you guys want to go over there and check this out, the Gateway Pundit, the Free Press, whatever.
Anti-communism became forbidden, right? This is a big evil thing to be an anti-communist. And you can't do this. You can't hold this view without running all the old people who experienced the 20th century out of the organization. And I think that had to have been part of the calculus, that they didn't want any internal resistance. And so there were instances where people were, I think, the efforts were made to silence people who dissented.
What did that look like?
You have this case in 2017 where a longtime union organizer gets elected to the DSA National Governing Board. He had been an organizer in a police union at one point. He had very nuanced views on the police and unions. He gets elected, and then immediately there is this effort to drive him off the board because he had worked for a police union.
Well, so they hate the cops. They hate anybody who's not a communist. So that's it. They're communists. It's clear. The DSA is communist. Anybody who says they're not, just write them off as being not trustworthy, not honest actors. It's really all it is. It's really all it is. Britain attempts massive 230 migrant mega dinghy. Britain accepts massive 230 migrant mega dinghy after channel crossing. Oh, so just get more. There you go. Just get them all in. Look at them all. Just get them all in. There you go. Take them all. A mega dinghy carrying 230 migrants crossed the English Channel overnight Monday, setting a new record for the largest single vessel known to have made the journey. The crossing came after a 5-day lull in small boat arrivals, with more than 950 migrants reaching Dover. Some troll downvoted on Rumble. Well, that shit happens. What are you going to do? Some people do that to be contrarian. Despite SpewTube is ick, I think I would dig Sim and the Target. Okay, I don't know what that means. The guy's voice is annoying. Yeah, it is. It's annoying. They're all annoying. It's 165 people. It's a capacity roughly of a 737. Nigel Farage, the Reframe UK leader, said this is a record number in a single vessel. It's yet more proof that the illegal invasion is a national security emergency. Yeah, what's a few more? Yeah, amongst friends. I thought they were going to stop that shit. Rocky Mountain oysters. There you go. The Home Office said the incident showed methods used by criminal smuggling gangs, especially since, if I'm not mistaken, the British have already said that the people doing the smuggling was Iranian. The IRGC was behind this. This latest incident demonstrates the reckless and dangerous tactics employed by the criminal gangs facilitating these crossings. Now, they're going to continue putting lives at risk by just cramming people in there. That's right. Tells me some think new. Yeah, Pinko Kami's bad. That's right. Get rid of them. We're making progress with the number of small boat crossings coming down, but we must go further. The latest arrival follows another serious incident last week when a dinghy caught fire and capsized. So one way to keep them out, I guess. 11 people suffered minor injuries. Justice Secretary Alex Norris says it's a very visible reminder of both the dangerous nature of these crossings and the blind indifference that human traffickers have for life on those boats. It's crazy, but yeah, don't buy a baseball bat though. If you buy a baseball bat in England, they'll arrest you when you walk out of the store. If anyone over here has a Rumble, go like the stream and come back. Yeah, do that, because somebody went over there and downvoted. It was probably that Didi person trying to make me look bad. So, barbaric. Iranian regime hangs a 24-year-old woman who fought back against sexual assault, forced into a child marriage at 17, executed for defending herself. This is just barbaric shit, man. Yeah. What's that saying? Bye, Felicia. That YouTube link is a DCS strategic bomber run on Karg with 3 generations of bombers. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Oh. Oh, this is okay. It's like a 30-minute video though. All right. It's like a 30-minute video. A baseball bat with a receipt. That was cray. Yeah. So the bloodthirsty Islamic regime in Iran has once again shown the world what Sharia justice looks like. Yes. Medina to Mecca by the sword. Barbaric. Yeah, they are. They're barbaric, man. It's not something really that you want to like deal with. I don't think, in my opinion. We don't want to have to fight that battle. We need to stop it now before it's too late. We really do. We need to stop it. It's got to stop. We can't continue to let this invasion happen. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Receipts are proven guilt now today. What's the link so we can go watch it later? Oh, okay. I'll put it in there. I'll put it in the. There you go. I'll put it in the YouTube chat. You can go watch it. It's just a 32-minute video. I don't think I can play it. So, at dawn on August 8th, the mullahs hanged a 24-year-old, also reported as Marzea Nayari, also known as Chubandar prison. She was executed for a premeditated murder under Keith's retribution laws after the court rejected her claims of self-defense. The young woman never had a chance. 6 years earlier, when she was 17, her family forced her into marriage with a man named Davoud. She had no interest in the union under the Islamic Republic's laws. That's perfectly legal. Child marriage is not a bug, it's a feature. Dawood and his associate regularly drank and used drugs in the home, according to human rights monitors. When she was 18, her husband's business partner attempted to assault her in her own home after the men had been drinking. She grabbed a kitchen knife and fought back. She wounded the attacker. Her husband died in the struggle. She told the court under oath that she faced repeated threats and attempted assaults by her husband's associates before that day. She acted only to defend her dignity and her life. The surviving attacker took the stand, denied her account, and painted her as a murderer. The court believed him. Her self-defense claim was rejected. Sentence was carried out. Oh. Islamic Republic hangs a 24-year-old woman. This is bad. According to data, 348 women have been executed in Iran since 2007. Many of the women executed are victims of domestic violence. Since Masoud Pezeshkian took office, the clerical regime has executed 3,973 persons. Wow. That's a lot of people. Amnesty International confirmed its report that Iran's ruling dictatorship carried out 2,159 executions in 2025, the highest annual execution rate worldwide. Wow. Since 1981. Wow. That's crazy. Watch the podcast from across the pond. Ghost Swords deletions have skyrocketed in no-go zones. It's a shame. So they lynched her. Yeah, they did. Awful story. Awful. A Long March 7A rocket carrying communication satellites explodes right after launch in setback for the Chinese space program. Yeah, this was a very spectacular explosion, but Bezos still does it better. 17 isn't exactly a child compared to marriage globally and historically. Muhammad married a 9-year-old. Muhammad married a 6-year-old. He consummated it at 9. Aisha was 6 when they got married. Consummated at 9. There's a difference. Heyo. I thought it was funny. Oh, well, I give up. What do you mean? You thought what was funny? What did I miss? You can join Jim's locals and get a cool red diamond. I tell you what else you get, but Jim would have me sleeping with the fishes. Oh, man. Oh man, I don't. I'm very friendly. I'm very friendly. I'm very friendly. So let's see here. So the Long March is the Beijing's rockets. Let's see. Let's watch it happen. I thought it blows up. Wow, that's crazy. Thank you for the raid, Boiling Point Live. I believe that's the Boiling Point Live is rated to stream. Thank you so much for the raid. What is it? This was a Chinese rocket that yes, rockets are science. Yeah, it's crazy. At this particular launch site, you get the joys of dealing with rocket parts falling on your house with highly toxic hypergolic materials that don't even that's even when they don't explode. That's crazy. Yes, thank you for the raid, Boiling Point Live. Thank you. Snapped in half like a pencil. Yeah, that's what happens. It really is. That's what happens. So yeah, so the failed launch was the first with the Long March 7 since its maiden flight in 2020. The Chinese rocket explodes with a fireball. Wow. I wish I would have known this was here. I would have looked at this first. Look at that. That's a big launch. A big launcher. Rocket exploder. Oh, very, very bad. Oh, no flight lights. Look at egg roll. Cream of Shanghai guy. So today's launch, which subsequently also ended in a field explosion, trying to trace the mishap to an engine malfunction. You don't say. Family recounts chilling meetings with doctors and nurses before beloved grandmother who was euthanized, allegedly against her will. This is a crazy story, man. That's a crazy story. It's a crazy story, man. It's a crazy story. An elderly woman had her life tragically end in a terrible tale from Canada. Oh, what's up, Yankee Free? Thanks for being here. They let Something Wong program it. That's right. The 83-year-old grandmother died July 10th in the country's MAID medical assistant dying program. According to the family, comments she made before passing, doctors allegedly euthanized her against her will. She had been living in assisted living in Ontario for 2 years. Her granddaughter held power of attorney, functioning as primary contact. 2 months before Stegman died, a statement from the family recalled the idea of assisted suicide was discussed. At the time, she clearly stated she didn't wish to pursue it. As a devout Christian, she believed expressing that MAID conflicted with her personal beliefs and faith. Yep, Canada, that's explaining. Oh, Something Wong. Yes. Other family members expressed concern, as sometimes Stegman would appear sedated, but other times clear-minded and talkative. They did not support MAID, saying she was not mentally capable of making such a significant decision independently. Yeah, they use it on children now, too. Yes. Just stop pulling your gray hair. It's not right. Okay. Like Logan's Run, when your light comes on, your time is up. That's how it is. A physician asked Stegman, who had 13 siblings, how many brothers and sisters she had. The response was 1. Despite the family's misgiving and Stegman's lack of knowledge about her life, the same physician concluded, I have deemed her capable of making her own decisions. Video at bottom, but almost 10 minutes is worth it. Didn't you give me that link already? I thought you gave me that link already. I thought you gave me. I thought you gave me that link already. Let me see. Which video at the bottom? This is just a whole bunch of videos. All right, I don't know. I'm losing my mind. So this is crazy. So assisted suicide is a grave moral failure. Yeah. Christ, as divine physician, calls us to accompany the sick and dying with compassion. She was abused and manipulated and dying. This is crazy. This is crazy. Michigan's radical. Gundam, just so you know, that thing may have earlier. No, that's a different link that you shared. That's just a link of a whole bunch of stories. I don't know which story you're talking about on that one. Oh, Canada, how you kill the old and infirm. Michigan's radical demon rat Senate candidate Abdul says football is toxically masculine and full of racism and misogyny. Wow. Abdul says football is very much associated with masculine, toxic masculinity. Wow.
Football is very much associated with a particularly masculine and oftentimes toxically masculine culture, and so much of it was about you wanted to be able to get back up and play for your team, and you really aren't allowed to show pain or vulnerability. That's part of the sport.
Wow. So he hates football. Wow. He didn't stop there.
You think about all the wars that we fight abroad, all of the sordid history of oppressing other people in the name of this American idea, right? Whether it was, quote, manifest destiny and destroying Native Americans, or it was the transatlantic slave trade, where folks who, quote, founded this country on the backs of Native folks that they destroyed, then captured people, enslaved them, and had them work their fields.
No white people went and captured people in Africa. No, that's not how it worked. The Africans conquered other tribes and enslaved them and then sold them. And that went on long before the transatlantic slave trade. Way before that, there was the Muslim slave trade that still went on for years and years and years. The Ottomans and other people were buying slaves from the Africans. Yeah.
Because they thought it was their right. And all of this, like a lot of these narratives, you kind of see echoed in the ethos of football.
This is his lips aren't moving. Yeah, this is a like a radio interview or something. So yeah, sports were so this guy is crazy. So toxic masculinity is the heart of America's most popular sport, and men's sport culture is generally in a deeper than a few emails or a Jay-Z turnaround. Wow, it's crazy. Masterclass, watch the rogue reporter get exposed after being unable to defend her word salad support of DEI. Oh, that's good. That's what I like to see. Is it actually going to be a video? There we go. Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to say this and you can debate it. You can't be racist against white people. You can be prejudiced against white people. Racism implies a power imbalance.
Where'd you learn that?
If that's just how it is, that there's no way to arrive to that.
You say it's just how it is.
That is.
So
I'm
when
sorry.
People say, well,
black people to have to use separate water fountains, because that's just how it is. I'm sorry.
If that's how you want to take it, that's how you want to take it.
You don't think you can advance any more on that?
I really don't want to.
I wanted to get this out quickly because this is one of the most important interactions I've ever caught on camera. I was at a student summit speaking to students. A reporter sat down who was covering the event.
When people are talking about DEI, they're specifically talking about trying to achieve specific outcomes.
Yes.
So you said, I don't think it logically works.
Okay.
I tried to point out to her that DEI inevitably is racist, logically. There's no way around it.
Because I think it's the only example of systemic racism anyone's been able to provide to me.
It's not systemic racism against you.
How?
Well, everyone deserves a chance to speak and a chance to kind of be out there. We are only as good as representing everyone in our nation. It's not just white men. It's not just rich people. We need every single voice there.
So it'd be equal opportunity, right?
Yes.
Okay, but equity is equal outcome.
Yes.
So it's a different word. That's why we have a
Yes,
different
but
word.
we should be fighting for equality and equity.
Okay,
It's both sides of the coin.
but if equity is, am I misunderstanding equity?
I don't think you are. I think equity is leveling the playing field so then everyone can reach an equal opportunity.
Okay, so let's run through an example. Like, how do we level the playing field? I'm a firefighter, volunteer firefighter, so let's use that as an example. If there's not enough of a specific skin color in the fire department, how do we fix that without being racist?
It's also just reaching out to demographics who don't.
That's advertising.
It's advertising, yes,
That's not
but
equity.
it's making sure those people that feel comfortable joining a group like firefighters.
So we have, because mentally we have this column of advertising.
Mhm.
We're trying to put that aside and understand equity, though. Because you're advocating for DEI, right?
Yes.
Okay, so can you get into the DEI portion of it beyond advertising?
Just that like everyone is equal I don't really understand what you're
So
asking.
keep in mind, this is someone who has already graduated college. I doubt she has ever been challenged on this ever before.
It's opening up these doors for everyone so we don't have to get to a point where that is an issue.
Can we get specific, though? What does it mean opening up the doors without lowering standards?
It's allowing people to understand that everyone is welcome and bridging the gap. Advertising. I agree with you on that aspect. I think that's part of it. It's showing off
So what's the
that
other part,
you're.
though?
What do you mean?
How do you get equal outcome?
By making sure the standards are the same, by making sure everyone feels welcome and is trained the same way.
Everyone
that has
feels
nothing
welcome.
to do. DEI has nothing to do with standards.
You just said making sure everyone is trained the same way.
Yes.
How is that DEI?
That's just basic hiring.
Right. That's my point. Is it's not DEI.
Yeah.
So can you explain to me DEI?
DEI is making sure everyone feels welcome and secure and that you're
DEI
not.
is just making people feel welcome.
It's making sure everyone has the equal opportunity to apply to something. Everyone has the equal opportunity to get hired.
That'd be equality.
That's not DEI. DEI means something very specific. Equity means something different than equality. That's why we have different words for both of them.
Everyone
Okay.
has the equal ability to become a firefighter.
Yes.
That's not equity.
Okay.
Okay. So do you think DEI now, if we look at it through this lens, do you think pushing for equal outcomes might be a flawed process?
I still don't think so.
Equity means equality of outcome. No one can explain to me how you're going to achieve that without being, by definition, racist. The only response she can offer is to change the very definition of racism.
I think you can debate the language and you can confuse people with how you debate the language. I just think fighting for everyone to have equal rights, equal opportunities, making sure that playing field is equality and equity go hand in hand. You cannot have one without the other.
Okay, so the words mean specific things, and we have two different words because they
Yes.
mean different. It's not like a word game, right? Can we
Yes.
agree on that?
Yes.
Okay, so if they go hand in hand, but can you explain what's the difference between equity versus equality?
Equity is making sure that, so let's say equality is just kind of giving everyone the same opportunity. Equity is everyone has the same opportunity, but you might not have access to that opportunity because of obstacles in your way.
Oh, like you're not smart enough, or you can't read or write, or you can't pass a test, or you can't stay off drugs, or you can't stop stealing shit. You can't show up to work on time. Is that what she's talking about? She just wants What? I'm so confused by this. Like, what's this person's? What are they fucking teaching in school now? What is going on? She doesn't know the difference? Yeah, it's very low IQ, man. This is ridiculous.
So everyone has access to apply to a job. Not everyone can, let's take colleges. Everyone has access to apply to colleges. Not everyone can afford the application fee. Not everyone can afford a college counselor to make sure they get in. Not everyone can afford tuition, loans, et cetera, et cetera.
Socioeconomic.
Yes,
I agree
equity
with you.
is.
Scholarships not applied on race.
Yes.
Your socioeconomic status.
You can see her face change. As soon as I say not applied on race, she's like, wait. Hold up. To her, the important component is skin color. You can't take that out of the equation. And this is where she starts to get upset.
So like my students, I used to be a teacher. My students taught students that came from like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with equity is that it's only applying that socioeconomic advantage based on skin color, because they're saying this group, because a group.
I disagree. As someone who just graduated and went through scholarship opportunities, there's opportunities, specific scholarships for people of color, for Italians, which I am, which I don't consider myself an oppressed class. There's scholarships for low-income people. Every single demographic, there is a way to give a boost up for.
So I guess I'm just curious. I don't understand why we break people down into groups based on race.
We shouldn't. But that's where we always have been. The whole point of, I guess, is to level that. It's to make it so we get to a point where those groups don't matter. But right now, for bad people, they matter. So we have to overcorrect it to make it an even playing field. To then eventually down the line, everyone is exactly equal. No one needs an extra boost because they haven't been disenfranchised.
This is where I run into it, and I appreciate you having this conversation. Yes. I mean this honestly, because you just admitted that it's a bad thing what we're doing.
It's a bad thing what we were doing. I mean, previously when people weren't hired because of their race, because of their gender, because of their sexual orientation.
I agree. Racism is bad, but I don't think implementing racism is to get over racism is logical.
It's not racism. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say this and you can debate it. You can't be racist against white people. You can be prejudiced against white people. Racism implies a power imbalance that white people have the advantage over.
How is that possible?
You can't. So where'd you learn that?
That's any bullying, any kind of form of, it's about a power imbalance. It's punching up versus punching down. Where did I learn that? I went to school.
Oh my God. So she believes that that all black people are below her. That's what she just said. She thinks all people of color are below her. She's above all of them because anytime anything happens, she'd be punching down on them. Iraq, it concussed me years ago and I still make more sense. That's what happens with college grads. Think they're smart because of diploma. Like, racism, people are racist, is prejudice and biases based on race is what racism is. They've tried to change it so they could say, well, no, black people can be racist. So when you see the black people attacking people for being white or, attacking people on the street, you fuck you whitey, all this shit, then that's fine because that's not racism, you see. Just because that's the way the Democrats have tried to portray this for years in the government and try to say like, oh, well, there's hate crimes for racial stuff, but not if you're white, then they can't be racist against you. So by that logic, all whites are more powerful than all blacks. That's what she just said. Yeah, that's what she just said.
University, I read, I do research.
So I thought racism was treating people differently based upon the color of their skin.
I mean, on the very basics, yes, but there is the aspect of it.
You can't be racist unless there's a power.
Because it's the same thing with bullying. It's like, it's punching up versus punching down.
Different word for racism versus bullying?
Because racism is bullying on the impression of race.
So it is race. It's not. So you can be racist against a specific.
When there is a bully, you have a small guy and a big guy. Even if that small guy is trying to bully the big guy, there is not that same power imbalance.
But you see, what you're doing is you're categorizing an entire group of people as a little guy versus a big guy. How's that not racist?
Because it's systematically how it's always been. To this day,
but you're making a judgment on someone based on the color of their skin.
That's not what I said.
That is exactly what you said. You're racist, lady.
Because of
no, I said it's always been, people have always treated others that way.
Aren't you doing that though?
No.
Yeah, you are.
You just said someone with this skin color has a hierarchy of power.
Yes. I am
You are
a
treating
white
them
person,
differently
so I
based
have
on the color of
inherently
their skin.
privilege.
You can judge yourself, but you can't judge others based on the color of skin without being racist.
Yes, I agree. That's not what I said at all.
Yes, it is.
You said white people have a automatic.
Oh my God, this lady just proves she's a stupid racist. These lefties are the most racist. She's like, oh, well, black people are stupid. That's why I have to do this to help them because I'm a good person. That's what she's saying.
There is a white privilege. That doesn't mean I'm judging them. Privileged, you having privilege doesn't mean I judge you for that privilege. It's how you use that privilege.
You are judging them based on the color of your skin.
I'm not.
How are you arriving at the conclusion that they have privilege? Then?
Because that's just how it is. That there's no way to arrive to that.
You can say it's just how it is.
That is.
So
I'm
when
sorry.
people say, well, black people have to use separate water fountains, that's just how it is. I'm sorry.
If that's how you want to take it, that's how you want to take it.
You don't think you can advance any more on that?
I really don't want to.
All right. Well, thank you.
Of course.
Keep in mind, this is an event that is designed for students to come together to have difficult conversations and disagree. If I'm being too insensitive in this interaction, then what's the point of the event?
Well, good job, buddy. Good job. Wow. Can't even do it. So yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, she's basically a racist, but she says she's a noble racist because she knows these people are lesser than her. So she has to help them and protect them. That is racism. What's up, Siwansky? How you doing tonight? Would you be pissed if I mute you? She's giving me a headache. Well, it's over. It's over. It's over. She thinks white privilege is genetic. Yeah, that's called racism. You know, the sad thing she thinks is I think she's too ignorant to realize she's lying about the privilege point. Yeah. I mean, demon rats are very racist. Yes, they are. No one needs to go to college and paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to be an idiot. Yeah, that's crazy. Massive victory against the climate cult. The Fifth Circuit shuts down the illegal Biden-era energy efficiency standards for stoves and cooktops, slams the DOE for trying to bypass the law. Well, this is good news, right? The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals on Tuesday delivered another stinging rebuke to the Biden-era Department of Energy. The court ruled on Tuesday that the Department of Energy's acted completely illegally when it refused to withdraw a controversial direct final rule after multiple red states raised damning objections. Yeah, all that education on a single independent thought in her head. I mean, wasn't that the point of education before, of somebody being educated? Wasn't that what college was supposed to be? Thinking critically, being able to think for yourself to solve problems, not just, now it's just repeating this dog shit they pour into people's heads. It has nothing at all to do with actually learning and acquiring knowledge and skill and being able to like solve problems, be able to think, perceive things and go, oh, figure out, problem solving. They're not solving problems. They're just casting blames. It's pointing fingers and repeating talking points. In her mind, the privilege is not a lie. It's literally hammered into their head that whiteness is an immutable privilege. I have yet to be able to use my white privilege card for anything in the 35 states I visited. Nobody accepts it anywhere. Let's bring back incandescent light bulbs. Yes. They have no independent thought. The Borg. Yeah, that's what it's like. So the radical green zealots have been waging a nonstop war on everyday household appliances, from dishwashers, ceiling fans. The bureaucrats in the Biden regime spent years pushing stringent rules to make basic home appliances more expensive, less efficient, and far less reliable. When the CPSC Commissioner Richard Trumka let the cat out of the bag by suggesting a total ban on gas stoves, the public pushback was immediate and fierce. Trumka, if I'm not mistaken, that was a guy who was like the head of some union. Rather than facing public standard notice and comment rulemaking, the DOJ tried to quietly lock in the new efficiency standards using a backdoor mechanism known as direct final rule. In a decision written by Judge Andrew Olwin and joined by Justices Haynes and Ho, the panel granted the petition for review filed by Mississippi. The Biden administration proposed numerous regulations to make home appliances more expensive and less useful. Someone's trying to break in. The judges held that the Biden Department of Energy improperly used streamlined direct final rule to impose new standards. The Biden administration promulgated a rule without giving public advance notice. States' sovereignty was ignored. The court called out the DOE for claiming it had consensus by handpicking 3 far-left states, California, Massachusetts, and New York, while excluding conservative states that opposed the mandate. Judge Ullman noted that holding up 3 left-wing states as a fair representation of the entire country was the understatement of the day. California did it, so we can do it everywhere else. No. The court highlighted that forcing manufacturers to abandon linear power supplies in favor of complex switching power supplies would shorten the lifespan of kitchen stoves, leading to more repairs, higher costs, and more waste. The panel firmly rejected DOE's absurd claim that citizens lose their right to challenge a rule if they wait for the official comment period to end. Yeah, California Bass gas leaf blowers years ago. Not a single landscaper uses electric. What the department could not do was gloss over the public outcry and allow the public to file after-the-fact comments and then ignore these comments in violation of Congress's plain dictates. Well, good. It's about time something. You know, we need to get some wins every once in a while. Watch as Toulouse cops get stabbed by Islamic maniac with 2 knives, shouting "Allahu Akbar." Oh, look at Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. The suspect was arrested, and the episode is being probed as a possible terrorist attack. Well, it's a possible terrorist attack. I mean, he only yelled Allahu Akbar. Wow, those women cops are doing a great job. They're doing a great job. Great job. He tried to stab the male officer in the throat, and his knife just missed the artery. He attacked a female officer who was wearing a vest, which prevented her from a large slash. It was Allah who made me do it. French police arrest Muslim man who stabbed 3 women in Paris. Oh, yeah, this was a week ago. This just keeps happening over and over again. Europe needs to get their shit together, man. And I got this. Michigan's far-left demon rat candidate, Abdul, deletes more than 100 YouTube videos demanding bans on guns and 4th of July fireworks. Wow, he hates America. He truly hates America, this guy. Aloha Snack Bar, yes. Yeah. That's what kept all the fires going. Dead grass and leaves all over the place blowing in the air. Yeah. I have a college degree. It's called the white racist privilege degree. Yeah. Good news. Great news. At least she didn't shoot the male cop or an innocent bystander. Well, you know, that could happen. Fireworks suck, says El Sayed. Before launching his campaign, Abdul removed 100 YouTube videos. Transcripts show him floating, replacing the Second Amendment, urging an end to 4th of July, blasting the GOP's focus on the border. Fireworks suck, removed El Sayed video, urge getting rid of the 4th of July. He wants Fetterman's head on a pike, too. Yeah, he called him an ogre. He said, put his head on a spike. The El Sayed campaign said the old clips do not reflect his current views.
Please watch your step.
I hate Mackinac so much.
He hates Mackinac so much.
It's funny because, like, if we win, this is going to be the, like, summer home. I'm just going to be like, every time I've ever come here, I've hated it. Why am I here?
Oh. Wow, he hates Mackinac Island. Wow. That's crazy. He hates Mackinac, the most American place in Michigan. Wow. Well, it's, you get what, you know, you vote for him, you get what you got coming, man. You get what you got coming if you vote for him. That's about all I can say about that. You get what you got coming. Tommy Robinson posted uncensored video from Sunderland of an African walking in the street buck naked, same day as the Prime Minister says even small villages need to work hard to care for the migrants. His clip's from a week ago. Yeah. It's crazy, right? Spoiled rich kid. You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. All right. So Pakistan says the U.S. and Iran are close to some sort of a deal. Pakistan said on Tuesday the United States and Iran were close to some sort of a deal, whatever that means. The fellow mediator, Qatar, said talks on managing the strait were advancing despite reports of new attacks on shipping in regional waters. You know, and oil prices, just in case anyone was wondering, is at $84 a barrel right now. So that's not it's not a price that would make people think we're having a, you know, good things going on. So in an interview, Pakistani defense minister said things are shaping up in favor of a peace arrangement or a deal. We'll see. So oil fell back on Tuesday after hitting a 1-week high earlier in trading. While it remains so much higher. No, it didn't. It's $84. That's $4 higher than it was yesterday. What are you talking about? We're going to ask for more money for the damage they've done over a 50-year period, Trump said. So, I don't know. And then CBS says, live updates, U.S. and Iran close to a peace deal, says Pakistan. Like, how do they even come up with this stuff? U.S. and Iran are some sort of going to come out to some sort of an arrangement. Trump told reporters that the U.S. controls the strait and says Iran's economy is struggling.
Has full 100% control of the Strait of Hormuz, while the U.S. is only semi-negotiating with Iran. The Iranian regime. President Trump says the U.S. has full 100% control of the Strait of Hormuz, while the U.S. is only semi-negotiating with Iran. The Iranian regime is now saying it will not reopen the strait if the U.S. doesn't meet its demands, including compensation for the damage it has done in the more than 5 months since the start of the war. The U.S. has reiterated its top priority is ensuring Iran can never achieve nuclear capabilities, but having the strait fully open has become key. Joining us now is CBS News contributor and former CIA officer and Marine Corps veteran Elliot Ackerman. So from where you're sitting, how have the goals changed since the start of the war, and how do they continue to evolve?
Let's remember, when this war started, it was a war that was about a regime change, and opened with a decapitation strike against the Iranian regime. And it was also a war that was about ensuring that Iran could never have a nuclear weapon. But Iran has very effectively weaponized the strait, really moving it to the top priority slot in terms of the conflict between the U.S. and Iran. So we're seeing a lot going on about the strait, and that has been a significant shift in war aims.
The president today in the Oval Office, he said, we have 100% control, but they can lay a mine. And he also says, we've cleared the Strait of Mines, but they can always make a threat. It's hard to understand exactly what is going on, because to me, that seemed like a contradiction. How is it that Iran has been able to have so much leverage over the strait?
Let's keep in mind, what the strait represents is that the control that exists over energy markets. Before the war, 20% of oil and natural gas went through the strait. So for the strait to be open, it means that markets and shippers need to have confidence that it's open and that can be transited safely. And that confidence doesn't exist right now. So regardless of what the administration says, the strait is effectively closed.
So
he's saying the strait's closed.
The end goal for each side? Like, what do both sides want out of this to say that they're winning?
Well, it's tricky. I think, what we're seeing right now is, the United States, we are trying to get this conflict to a point where there is an off-ramp. We have General Kane saying that quietly. The U.S. needs to find an off-ramp. Now, what does that off-ramp look like? It could look like the strait being reopened, some type of a deal on Iran's nuclear program. But for the Iranians, it's not necessarily that they need to win. They just need to not lose. And what does not losing look like? It looks like a maintenance of the status quo as it exists right now. And it would seem to me they're starting to try to run out the clock on the president, particularly as he heads into the midterms.
Oh, so it's about the election and the Democrats. Oh, okay. So that's what it's about. About the Democrats. So. Wow. So this story from last week, another trans cult. A 7-year-old victim was groomed to be trans before he was found tortured to death. We talked about this story, I think it was Saturday or something, or maybe, I don't know. I remember talking about this, but they didn't. This is new breaking stuff. Barry Weiss has been feckless at CBS. It seemed like she was doing good work. Now it seems like they're back to the same old shit. As long as they're a deaf cult who wants bribes to pass, it won't be safe. Yeah, they just not that cult. They got to go. William Evan Ellis was brought up in a trans group where he played a key role as a shared child for all the moms. Yeah, there was a video. Look at them all. Trans suspect Nessa Keeney, trans suspect Nathan Kirby, victim suspect Caitlin Evans, and trans group associate Thomas John Ellis. This story's been updated. So a woman and two men who identify as trans have been charged in Cincinnati, Ohio, on the brutal torture and murder of a young special needs boy. Investigation found, that a group included three men who identify as trans, had groomed the child into trans ideology from a very young age, and appeared to have plans to transition him before police found him unresponsive in a closet. He was bound with duct tape and showed signs of torture. William Michael Evans Ellis was recovered from an apartment in the Oakley neighborhood in Cincinnati. He suffered injuries consistent with being choked and held underwater, beaten, and burned. Detective testified that it was one of the most disturbing child abuse cases he'd ever investigated. The child was found with a number of injuries that would indicate physical beatings, blunt force injuries. This angers me and makes me want to say things that would get me kicked off of YouTube. So Caitlin Elizabeth Evans, who is charged as the child's biological mother. The two other suspects are biological men who identify as women. The three lived together as a polycule and co-parented the child to death. Under the jail. Yeah. Wood chipper is too good for them. Yeah. Drawn quarter. They're charged with murder and child endangerment. Who say I'm on a special Rumble stream. We're all thinking the same. Okay. Which one is the mother? The one in the middle? Liberal and legacy media have repeatedly reported that three women were charged. This follows a pattern of media outlets obscuring and omitting the trans identities of killers and convicted killers to protect transgenderism. The same pattern occurred in news media coverage of the Zizian trans death cult. The boy's biological father, Tara Jane Evans Ellis, who is not charged, also identifies as trans. He married Evans in 2011. His real name is Thomas John Ellis, but he legally changed it to Tara. He works as a software engineer in cybersecurity and identifies as autistic and Antifa, similar to the Zizian members. There's no suggestion Ellis is linked to the Zizians. The couple had a second trans-themed wedding for Tara and his wife in 2025. Their child was put in a dress at the ceremony, according to a source familiar with the knowledge. So that's Thomas John Ellis before and after his transition to Tara Jane. So there's a whole group of fucking crazy people that the state needs to take kids away from people like this. I'm sorry. Analysis of Ellis' social media reveals a disturbing history of posts showing he was part of that group and they were influencing the child to become trans. He's active on Mastodon and Twitter. It's a Twitter-like program. Ellis posted Antifa propaganda, radical queer activist material. He was a DSA member and dabbled in the trans furry subculture, similar to Charlie Kirk's assassin, Lance Twiggs. Yeah. He also posted at length about his personal life in the polyamorous trans group where they trained his son to embrace their lifestyle and transgender identities. The other night, we did a family polycule outing, and my kiddo met my girlfriend, Kay, for the first time. When William was about 4 years old, a couple months later, he wrote, "Kiddo has started calling for mommies when he needs a parent, or any parent will do. It absolutely melts my heart." Another post describes how his partners had a fondness for wearing something, I don't know, or for weapons. Okay, well, Ellis wrote, "The polycule engaged in group sex and described the group as a team." Disturbingly, Ellis had posted, suggested the group was grooming the child and becoming trans. First, they encouraged him to experiment with different names before suggesting that transition would be inevitable. Wow. Well, at least this is a better story to end, whatever. Trump secures release of former U.S. Marine Robert Gilman, imprisoned in Russia during the Biden administration. President Trump announced the release of former United States Marine Robert Gilman, who was imprisoned in Russia during the Biden administration. Gilman served in the U.S. Marines from 2019 to 2020. He was arrested in January 2022 in Voronezh, Russia, while traveling by train for allegedly assaulting a police officer while intoxicated. His family and advocates, however, long maintained the charges were false or exaggerated, stating he had fallen ill and that the officer was uninjured and initially dropped the matter. He was there 4 years. It's insane. Gilman was originally sentenced to 4.5 years, but he was charged with additional convictions while in custody for assaults on prison staff, which then extended his total sentence to 10 years. His health deteriorated significantly in 2026, and family and advocacy groups reportedly he entered a catatonic state, requiring a feeding tube, and was near death, with allegations of abuse and forced medication. There are growing concerns for a U.S. Marine from Massachusetts who is currently detained in Russia.
A retired Marine from Lowell, Massachusetts, is currently being detained in Russia, and his family right now is panicked. They are very concerned. They say that he is on the brink of death after suffering years of physical and psychological abuse in a Russian prison. So Robert Gilman is 31 years old. He was detained in Russia back in 2022 on what advocates say are bogus charges that he assaulted a police officer. About 6 weeks ago, he fell into what his family says is a dissociative stupor. He is essentially in a catatonic state. And just in the last week, his blood pressure has gone way up. He is completely unresponsive. And his family says they are very worried that he is about to die and that he needs to be brought back to the United States right now. We understand that the top levels of government right now are involved in this. The U.S. State Department told us in a statement tonight that they are calling on Russia to release Gilman on humanitarian grounds. Advocates are saying that they're worried that Gilman will end up like Otto Warmbier, who was detained in North Korea. He eventually was released, but he was in a coma and he died just a week later.
Robert has been wrongfully detained this entire time. He has faced physical torture. He's faced mental torture. And now we are pleading with anybody we can to get him a life-saving medical evacuation. Americans will not forgive the death of a former Marine in a Russian gulag.
Wow. Oh my God. What did the Biden administration do to try to get him is the question. What did they do? Just like the Korean one. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Why did he go to Russia? They didn't say. Disassociation was probably the only way to deal with it. Yeah, Russian prison is hell on earth. It surely is. It truly is, folks. Truly is. Wow. Okay.
Who has been jailed in Russia since 2022 while on his way to a new job in Moldova. Sources say he may be close to death after horrific treatment. Senior foreign policy correspondent Jillian Turner's got the latest tonight. She's at the State Department. Good evening, Jillian.
Good evening to you, John. Former U.S. Marine Robert Gilman has been imprisoned in Russia on trumped-up charges since back in 2022. His family, through their representatives, tell us that his Russian captors have repeatedly tortured him over the subsequent years. They now say, revealing for the first time, that he slipped into a state of semi-consciousness back in June, and they fear he is verging on death.
Right now, he is in a catatonic state. He's being fed through a tube that goes down his nose into his stomach. And quite honestly, we were afraid he may already be dead or he may not come out of this.
Gilman's sister Lexi said today, quote, "I am more afraid for my brother than I have been since this horrible nightmare started. I'm worried that he could die." The Russians have denied Gilman's family and U.S. officials any access to or communication with him since June, despite repeated urging from the Trump administration. Secretary of State Marco Rubio reportedly asked Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to release Gilman into U.S. custody to receive urgent medical care during a meeting they had in Manila on July 23rd.
Well, at least he's home. At least this Marine is home. Thank God. At least he's home. All right. Well, everybody, I want to thank everybody who was here. Unfortunately, we didn't make the extra hour, the second additional hour, but we did get one extra hour tonight. So he's brain dead. I don't know. He looked okay. Maybe like he was on the plane with his family. Looked like he was on a plane with his family. He looked like he was okay. He was smiling. So we'll have to see. You know, Biden wanted the trans basketball player more. Yeah. Got to get up a 5-hour drive across Houston. Well, thanks for being here. I'm going to send everybody on Rumble over to my friend Dan Clancy's birthday stream. So say hi to Dan Clancy on Rumble if you're on Rumble. On YouTube, I'm going to send you over to Cynic over on Sinners. So tell them hi, and I might pop in there on that show for a little bit. So if you want a little more Jim, follow the raid on YouTube, and I will join there shortly. But other than that, I will see everybody tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Come on back for Jim to tell you the news.